Alright, let's do it, guys. Let's start a run. Let's open Live Split. So yesterday I've done a rogue run, this is the character here. Today I want to do a necro run. This is still pre-Season 5 patch. In fact, all of these runs will be pre-Season 5 patch, but we don't even have the nodes yet. But for necros, there's not really that many changes. We just know that Bone Spirit is going to be OP. But for leveling, this is irrelevant. For leveling, I'm mostly gonna do minions and Blood Surge. That's the plan here. This is a commentated run. I'm gonna over-explain everything, just to give people something to kind of like learn, watch on the side, play along with for the season start, and hopefully have a good time starting in Season 5. So we're gonna do this on Season, Veteran, Hardcore. So I will probably play this a bit slower than other people would expect, because I'm doing this on Hardcore. I'm also not very well in shape currently, both from not playing the game and physically. But it was really fun yesterday, and a lot of people liked it. So let's do one run for each class. And after we get the patch notes, we're also gonna check out Druid, Sorc and Barb, I guess, since those are expected to be the most changed. Alright, let's start a run. Timer is up. So here we want to start with... You can get a bunch of different generators, but I like Hemorrhage. We're doing that. We get our kitty. Get the white one. Oops. I misclicked. Confirm look. And we go for Blood Surge. Why Blood Surge? Because it's OP. It has insane amounts of AoE damage and gives you overpowers all the time. Now we can also go for some Cold Explosion if you want, which is okay. And now we go Helltide. It started 9 minutes ago, so that's really good. This is like pretty close to a season start scenario. We want to farm Helltide basically until level 3, and then we go Nightmare Dungeons all the way to the 100. So this is like the typical leveling strategy. In Season 4 right now, we cannot really fully benefit from farming high-level monsters. In Season 5, we will be able to farm high-level monsters and use the power that Necromancer actually has. Necromancer is a very powerful class usually, especially leveling, especially with the minions these days. Let's just get all the points here in Blood Surge. We have a lot of power on this class, and we should use it, but we cannot right now, since the maximum level offset, the way it's called, is only 10. And only in World Tier 4 actually it's even less in the earlier levels. But this means that when you fight very high level monsters, you don't get much more XP. It's capped. That cap is getting raised to 30 levels. Season 5, which is very nice. So you can farm up to 30 levels above your character and get more XP. This is gonna make leveling something like Necro actually really good. Even though we might not have like, you know, the same speed like a Rogue, for example. Yesterday we were playing a Rogue, we were very fast. We don't really have that here. So what we do have is a lot of power. And this is the advantage of the Necro. So we're gonna try to use that. For now it's just like leveling up. We're trying to get the Golem quest at 25. And then we are basically ready for capstone. Until then, we just collect cinders, collect loot, try not to die. This is the general strategy here right now. And you see here, like one Blood Surge already one-taps packs. Very powerful. Just keep up your skellies, buff them. When you have 4 skellies, you can actually make 5 out of them. Remember, you have to resummon them after you change something on the Book of the Dead. They all die instantly. Yo, tier 3 sub from just one Saf. Dude, thank you so much, appreciate that. Alright, we have a lot of points here that we don't really have that much to do with. We can do the Cold Explosion resource generation, which is kind of cool since there's a lot of density in Helltide. You can kind of just like press Cold Explosion, kapow, kapow, summon stuff. It's just like something to do in between. And now we can also get our movement speed here, Depth Approach. Although this might be a bit too greedy, we should do Iron Maiden first. Iron Maiden is also a very nice resource tool early on. Since we are running out of resources, Iron Maiden allows you to get resources back and life back as well, which is very cool. Got a weapon, pick those stuff up. You just kind of like blast away through the packs. Try not to waste your resources too much, don't try to overdo it with the Blood Surges. But the level ups are also very helpful, give us like lots of AoE damage. And here we go, costs no more resources. Can swap this around a little bit. And now every time we cast Iron Maiden on a pack, we get basically full resources as long as they're not cursed yet. And now we can use left click, Iron Maiden, and Cold Explosion. And even the Ray Skeleton gives us resources right now. And like this we already have like a very nice, smooth resource economy. Level for the Helltides, exactly. Until World Tier 3, Helltides is the way. Technically, in World Tier 3, Helltides is also really good. However, only if you can live. And especially in Hardcore, going to World Tier 3, like level 25 or something, and you go into Helltide, you're gonna get wrecked. Very likely. Like even Softcore, most people probably just get wrecked. Unless you have something really good already, like you got lucky, or maybe the season journey powers are really good or something if you have them already. If you don't, and we probably won't, I don't know what we're gonna get from the season journey, so I'm just not gonna get anything. I'm basically playing like an eternal run right now, and I'm trying to not to like twink it out. So we're not gonna like imprint stuff I haven't found. I'm not gonna like temper everything to crazy perfection or something. I'm just gonna kind of assume this is like a fresh season start here, and play it as that. Now here's one important thing that I've just done that you might not have seen or noticed, which is I saved my shield in the corner here. I actually want to favorite it just in case. The reason to do that is that we may find a really strong one-handed weapon, but not a good offhand. Right now my offhand is stronger than my one-handed, but this may not stay that way. And this means that you always want to save a shield. Your best shield always stays in the corner if you don't have it in hand, because you might find a really powerful one-handed, and then you equip the shield again, because the shield scales with your one-handed. You don't need to have a good shield, you just need to have a shield, and it gives you 80% extra damage. Basically the idea is that the shield gives you overall slightly more defense and slightly less damage than an offhand or a two-handed weapon would. In fact, around 10% DPS and around 10% extra toughness. This is kind of the idea behind the shield. We could do the event, but it's a kind of bad event, hold your ground. We should check how many obels we have. We have 2081, I should remember that, so I don't overuse those. We're gonna only use the obels we get, but hold your ground is not something you want to do right now. This is just a waste of time here currently. Unless our Helltide meetup was already maxed out, then I would probably stay here and do the event. We can try to get back to this event, or another, when the Helltide meter is full. I'll get the mages at 15, so this is the objective for now. We go 15. Hey Rodriguez, thanks for up. You can use Ubers from level 35, yes, but we're imitating a season start run. It's kind of unlikely to find an Uber unique, or as they're called mythic now, at level 35. In fact, I've played the entire season 4 and have not found a single random mythic item, which kind of surprised me. It's a roughly 1 in 2000 chance to find a mythic item when you find it in unique, at least with the currently known data mined drop rates. Depending on the class, since classes have different amounts of uniques. And I've certainly found 1 in 2000 uniques randomly, I think, in Season 4. I've played a lot. Maybe I haven't. But I should have had relatively decent chances of finding a random mythic unique, and I haven't. So I'm kind of banking on Season 5 to give me one. Alright, we could do Death's Embrace now, get some movement speed. Movement speed is a very powerful efficiency upgrade. So let's use it. So now you kind of see what I mean. We have 137 attack power, and if I equip the shield, I have 130. You see, it's almost the same. Because I have a strong one-handed, and my offhand is getting weaker and weaker. So this is why we use a shield. Like, you always save a shield when you have one. Same with the offense, and you have a really good focus, or you have a really good one-handed, always save it. Even if I switch to, let's say, two-handed weapon, always save your best options for the one-handed slots. This is true not just for Necro, this is also for Druids and Zorks. You always want to save your best one-handed options, just in case you find a really good one of the other. Okay, this is going pretty smooth so far. Necromancer, very good. Much better than the Rogue yesterday for the early game. We got Tyrius Might day 1 from the virtual boss. Damn. Let's go. Alright, we could do decrab, but this is usually something we're gonna take later once we actually go into like difficult content territory, like in capstone. We're gonna use the Crabify. Right now, it's kind of a waste of time casting decrab. We don't need it. We just wanna blast, we have so much power. We're so strong on necro. So we can just like not go for another skill slot and just get the passives. And then we change that later. See how much damage we have here, it's insane. You can also get a Blood Mist if you want to be a bit safer on hardcore. I can just put 1 point in Blood Mist. Although it's unlikely you're gonna be in danger anytime soon. Okay, you see our health meter is slowly filling up, so let's try to get to the event. So we can combine the health tide meter and the event together. What class I recommend for a hardcore bot? I'm not sure if I recommend botting at all, especially in hardcore. But that would probably be a barb. Barbs are basically unkillable in hardcore. You got a Shaco on your druid, man. Holy. I wasn't so lucky. But I guess that's just like the law of large numbers, since we have many people in the stream. I didn't get lucky with a random mythic drop. But let's see. It's gonna happen in Season 5, for sure. It must. Yeah, we're soon 15 actually. This was a really smooth start. Okay, what do we do now? We could go for the blood passives, they're actually kind of powerful. We can also go for the skeletal mastery passives as well. And golem mastery later, so this is some stuff you want to invest in. They're very powerful. Instead of like putting skill points into those, you put passives on the necro. Because you already have the skill by default for your skillies. Oh man, we're so close. See the Helltide threat meter? Let's see, invent here. We clicked it earlier, so maybe we ruined it. We actually did ruin it, it didn't come back. Oh, there's another event we could go for on the left. Somewhere here, I believe. Next to the Blood Maiden. So let's make our way there. We only stop for like a good pack, if there's anything. Usually don't want to just like randomly ride around like this. But here we're getting closer. Here, like we missed one pack exactly to get there. Get 2 Hell Harbingers. Nuke him down. I need some improvements here. Okay, we're actually kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. That's out. I should have ran a little bit further before spawning this. Now it's almost over. And there's no event here. We got bamboozled. Twice. Oh, okay, what is this? Portal invasion, so we're gonna have a boss here. Not exactly an event you wanna do, necessarily, because you don't have boss damage right now. But you might get lucky and there's a Blood Bishop popping out. Blood Bishop on this event is, for some reason, 10 times squishier than any of the other bosses. So, I can see. But you see how slow we're killing this Hellborn? You don't really want to do that, actually. I'm just doing it because you can drop an item. Gonna get another shield, have this, have a wand. And... nah, that's fine. Let's see what we got. So this is like a focus, we don't have to keep this ever anymore. This is 114 item power, we already have 177 weapon. You would never want to combine the focus with our weapon right now. Look, we have 192 attack power, and we actually go down by like 15%. Oh look, we got a Blood Bishop. So this is worth it. He has like no HP. Boom. Get him. And you get a bunch of opals. So that was fine in the end. Skeletal Mage is unlocked. We can go for the additional Shadow Bolt here, they're really good. And now we summon them. Got 3 mages now. We could also invest into the mages. They're here. They're gonna start pumping. Minions in general are really powerful since Season 4. And you wanna basically use them all the way while leveling up. But you don't have to. They also buffed the sacrifice bonuses lately to pretty ridiculous levels. We can go to the bottom zone a little bit. We kind of cleaned up the Whisper objectives here. Now usually don't try to complete Whispers while in World Tier 2. You just kind of just ignore them. But we might happen to fill it. There's a Harvest, for example, that's very good. That's kind of like an autocomplete. And then we're gonna be at 7. Probably don't want to go into the cellar, but we can maybe do this corpse. Then there's a kill objective. And like this we can actually turn in later. Right before the capstone dungeon, you just turn it in. If you happen to be like very close to turning in, then you can maybe finish it. Most of the time I do not recommend that though. Just kind of like a waste of time, just go over to 3. Unless you might want some gear before capstone. Capstone is usually the time when you wanna like upgrade your gear a little bit. Make sure you're as strong as you can be, since there's like a huge difficulty jump. First in the capstone and then even higher in after the capstone. Life on hit and life per second, very good stats in the early game. They kind of fall off hard later, since you go from, you know, having 200 life to like 50,000 life. So that's a huge gap there, and the stats don't actually really rise that much, like by a factor of 200 or so. They rise more by a factor of, I don't know, maybe 20, so it kind of falls off. But early game they're very good. Same as percent damage stats, if we have any of those. We have a lot of int right now, which is actually pretty useless in the early game. Int is good later. But early game you want something like percent damage here, like the stagger is very nice. This is what you want. If you get rings, amulets, whatever that has percent damage, you have very little of it in the early game and a lot of it later. So it's kind of reverse from the late game. These are Hellspire, they're also not bad to do. It's usually a lot of density. If you can stand in this, have a bit of healing, you're kind of fine. Okay, we can get Corley's blood, or... yeah, we can actually just like max out our pets first, let's do that. Just give them more power, more life. There's also a very strong codex power that we could unlock later. I think I will. Yesterday I did that mistake with the rogue that I didn't do any codex power unlocks. And I should have. I was too weak compared to what I should have been. We're not gonna do that mistake today. We're gonna get maybe 1 or 2 powers and just imprint them. Is an opening chest beneficial? It is, but not yet. I'm gonna wait until around level 25 or so, when we go capstone. Then you have to golem basically. Then we open all the chests, get the golem quest, and we go. Right now we are powerful enough, we don't need any upgrades. Yo, McBain, thanks for us up. How do shields scale late game? Exactly the same. The relative value of shields doesn't change. They are roughly minus 10% DPS and roughly plus 10% survivability. Now there's 2 problems with this. Number 1, shields cannot have offensive aspects imprinted. They also have like different stats, but the stats are generally good on shields, I would say. They have very powerful stats. The big problem is you can't have an additional offensive aspect. So if you rely on a certain combo of aspects, which many no builders do, you may not be able to make that combo, and then you can't use a shield. And the second problem is, which is actually a very stupid problem that Blizzard has created, is weapons, despite being in, shields, despite being in a weapon slot, cannot be weapon tempered. And that makes no sense whatsoever. They are in a weapon slot, they need to be able to be weapon tempered, and they cannot. So this makes shields effectively not exist in the current game. Much worse than not being able to imprint offensive powers. At least you can get a defensive or utility or something on a shield, but he cannot put a weapon temper on a shield. And in this case, it's just dead. So you can't get your chance to cast twice, or whatever, right? I mean, there are some necro skills that don't actually have good weapon tempers. Like, there is no chance to cast Blood Surge twice, for example, like there is for Bone Spear. So, for Blood Surge, for example, you could think about a shield. But usually you have, you know, two-handed weapons or something that you go for, and some, like, really powerful aspects. Like, a lot of necro builds have this one shining aspect that is really strong, that you usually want to put on a two-handed if you can, or at least on a neck. And in that case, with all the problems that shields have, you don't really use them later. Unless you want to be very, very defensive, and this is like mostly a hardcore thing, but there's other ways to build very defensive on Necro. So you don't really use shields these days. Until they fix the weapon temper stuff, there's like no way. Because if anything, tempers are getting stronger, not weaker. And without the weapon temper option, it's just like a dead slot. It's a bit sad, but that's what it is. I told him about this, but I don't think they're changing it for Season 5, maybe for the expansion. Like, as long as they don't change this temper stuff, you will never use shields. But for now, I mean, this is not our concern. We are very far away from tempering anything on our weapons. And like this, we keep the shields around, just so that we can use any one-handed weapon with a shield, and we don't have to bother with an offhand if we don't have one. Expansion features. Yeah, maybe they're gonna do an expansion feature or something. You can now weapon temper your shield. Ah, this is the buff. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, it's kind of stupid. So now we can do cold mages, and we get the essence here. I really like that. They do less damage than the shadow mages. So you can choose to keep the shadow mages if you want, but I kind of like to just cast more. Especially since we are probably going for a dungeon codex power later. And we get a bunch of resources now all the time, which is kind of helpful. So we can just press the button. We have a lot of cinders. Leveling is going nicely. Do we have the golem stuff already? Yes. In fact, we want to go for Hellbent Commander. It's very powerful. 15% damage while you're close to your pets. That is actually getting changed to now be 10% at all times in Season 5. Which is both a buff and a nerf. I guess generally a buff, since now positioning is irrelevant and it's easier to use. This is not the PDR. Hello, Ong Wei Xian, by the way. Yeah, don't worry, I'll be resting. But I'm almost well again now. It's been like a week of COVID, and it's better now. Still have trouble speaking a lot though sometimes, so I'm not really doing the right thing today. But it's fun. It's actually a very interesting format. Usually I don't speak that much when I blast. But here I feel like I'm actually doing like some, you know, valuable teaching for people. This guy has a lot of poison damage. I actually never fought this guy for so long. He really poisons you up. Ah, look, you got the special item, the Bradmother's Stinger. There's a silent chest, but we don't have any keys. If this was a twink, you definitely want to take keys immediately from your stash. You should always have, you know, maybe let's say 10-20 keys. Every time I make a new character, I just put 10-20 keys on it, or I gamble them with obols. But since we are imitating a season start, we don't have those. We only have like 30 obols right now. The silent chests, people underestimate them a lot, but they're very good. They cost 20 obols, which is way less than any item you can gamble, and you get like 3-4 rares, sometimes a legendary for it. Very good value, the silent chests. So you always want to have keys when you go around, especially when you found some hell tiles or whatever. Enjoy leveling necros. Yeah, it's very cool to level necros. I like Blood Surge a lot, it's one of my favorites. And it's just like a very good like speedrunning and leveling skill. And you have the Golem later to just kind of like one-tap bosses for you and stuff. You're gonna see that later. The Golem is like a truck. Okay, so we got this. We're almost full on Whispers and on the event. What do we got here? That's a good part about Kyrgyzstan. You have like so many events. We also had the normal Whispers here. That's got a bit lucky. Here's a scythe. Now about the weapon choices. Usually you want to go for slow weapons on minion builds, since the minion attack speed doesn't really change, but they do more damage per hit. So at least this is to my knowledge. Usually scythe is the way, because it's slower. But I mean, you don't really have the luxury to choose that in the early game. These are two-handed. We could use it if you want it. Movement speed boots though. I want to use that. Now we should be kind of salvaging stuff, but white items salvaging is not really such a big deal anyway. But for example, these yellows, you definitely want to salvage them. Early game, when you're starting the season fresh, you have like no materials, you definitely want to try to salvage a bunch of stuff. Okay, one thing about these Hellborns is if they take too long, just run away. It's not worth wasting your time for like a minute fighting these guys. This kill speed is fine. It's like 4 rares, very good. Bunch of extra damage here. That's a very good one. Two-handed scythe, let's go. Let's do the Hellbound Commander, 3 out of 3. Okay, we have 600 cinders. Is Necro the fastest to level to 100? Necro has been traditionally very good at leveling, yes, because of Blood Surge. Blood Surge, loss of movement speed, and your blasting. It's actually very competitive. Or like racing to 100 on a season start. In fact, I think Chronix was actually the first in Season 4 as a Necro. By a little margin. So he did like a very good job there. And it's only gonna get better because of what I explained at the start. Like, they are raising the maximum monster level difference to your character that he can have to get more XP. And this really benefits Necro probably more than any other class. Because Necros just have a lot of raw power compared to the other classes while leveling. So you can fight high level monsters once you go into Nightmare Dungeons and get more XP that way. Necros might just be the fastest in Season 5. And Necros also have been consistently buffed with like lots of extreme mobility improvements. In Season 5 they're also getting 3 new mobility aspects. Some of them are pretty crazy. I've already showed them off in the PTR. Necro's gonna be flying. They're gonna be insanely mobile in Season 5. And that's also gonna benefit them. Do we have a helm? Okay, get this. It's good to mix in Whisper so you have some gold. Yeah, even low level Whispers can give you guys some gold. I guess it's also a reason to like maybe complete a Whisper run. In the past you always had to do a Whisper run to get a sigil when you enter World Tier 3. This is no longer the case. You now get a sigil for free. This also means you don't have that gold. It's not really a strategy to mix in Whispers, but if you feel like you need some upgrades or you know you want to get some gold to upgrade or whatever, then yeah, you can do that. You get a lot of gold. Just like one run even in World Tier 3 or something, or even better in World Tier 4. Then maybe it's so that you get a guaranteed sigil from the capstone dungeon bosses, but both capstone dungeon bosses give you a sacred sigil. Elias does also give you a sacred sigil. At least currently, and it's unclear if they're gonna fix that in Season 5. If they don't fix that, you have to do Whispers anyway in World Tier 4 to get a sigil. In that case, this problem just solves itself. You get some whispers there. If not, you have to do like a round of, yeah, maybe do like a round of whispers anyway, just to get gold if you need to. But you can also start selling items later. Right now, they're not really valuable. But in World Tier 4, these items are going to be worth like 10, 20, 30, 50k gold when you vendor them. And you can just like vendor a few inventories of items and you have a few million gold. And you're fine. As long as you don't roll your gold away, you're all good. Okay, we have 17 minutes. Here's Ancient Siphon, I like this event. And I think it's slowly time to start opening gifts here, because they're very spread out. Slay demons, slay harbingers. Can we get like one more little thing somewhere? I guess we might have to go for the cellar. After all, we're very far away from it now, but there might be some chests on the way. We can do this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, there's 5 chests. We start opening the chests now. And don't run out of time, because it takes a while to actually open those chests. If you don't just run from chest to chest to chest with the horse, and even if you do, you might get like knocked down from the worm that comes out of the ground, and other stuff going on, and there's like juicy packs you want to kill. You definitely want to go early enough. Oh, we got a legendary already. Yo. Skeletal priests empower your warriors to deal shadow damage. Cool. This is something you actually want to have later for like a Shadow Blade setup that currently we don't actually have. And we're not going for yet. But this is usually how you would play the minions later. I think we're gonna salvage now. This is gonna be like a bit of like a season start imitation, so I'm not just gonna throw all my items on the ground. We're just gonna salvage. Don't forget to hydrate. Hello, Blue Days. Alright, I think... You see, we still have this blue shield here. It's our best shield. No, actually we had a yellow one, so this one. Can remove the thing here. This thing is level 50, 226 item power. What is this? This is the unique item from the Blood Mirror. That's funny. Why is it level 50? That seems buggy. I guess it scales to my level, but it has a minimum level requirement, which is kind of funny. Okay, don't waste too much time. Salvage everything. We're gonna get better loot anyway now, so I'll just go in again. And just start opening the chests. Each chest is usually like a third of a level or something. Ah, look! Ravage Corpse, we found it. You don't have to go for the cellar. Is there any other chests here? There's 2 chests, you should probably open those. I should have checked which dungeon we have to complete for the Blood Surge power. You want to get the Blood Surge power, it's very powerful. I'm gonna check this right now actually. Okay, we have our Whispers ready to turn in, we're gonna wait though. Let's see how much gold we get from this actually once we turn it in. I'm kind of curious, I don't know how much it is. Okay, the Bloodbath aspect is in Hoarfrost Demise in Fractured Peaks. That's very sad because it's behind a stronghold actually. But I guess we'll do it, the stronghold is just like 2 minutes. But this is like the #1 aspect for this build, for Blood Surge. You can get away without it, or can just wait for it to drop at some point. But it is a pretty powerful aspect. They also buffed it lately, and they made it really, really strong. Okay, we got a ring. Increased shadow damage to enemies affected by curse. I'm not sure if this works for minions, actually. It may work for the minions themselves as well. That would be relatively strong. So we can actually go for the Shadow Mages again, and we also have the Shadow Skellies. And now we need a Necro expert to tell me if that works. Aspect of the Damned for the minions. That'll be very good. Got a Resourcefulness elixir, that's very nice. Actually, I had another one already. What Druid I'm gonna aim for Season 5 start? Well, wait for the patch notes. Realistically, usually level like a Lightning Storm, but with all the buffs and reduced need for Shepherds, I actually leveled some Pulve lately in the race. I was doing a hardcore race with Druid and then I went Pulve and that was actually really good. So maybe something like that, even without aspects. Right, we are probably gonna spawn one more Hellborn actually, so we should go for that. We have 12 minutes left and probably 5 chests to open at least. But you see now, like we keep getting more cinders as we go. It takes forever to actually open those chests, so let's go down here. Very far away from anything. Got a ring of a socket. Sockets don't do that much until level 40, but it's still nice to have a socket when you go capstone. You want to get a bit of extra res. Lots of armor. 10% damage. Maybe use that, actually. Crit and 10% damage. I'd like to have a bit of life. One essence on kill is also not terrible, but we need life. We need to get all the life we can. So let's just not overdo it. Now there's one little trick here, by the way, in this Helltide, especially for softcore players, when there's a lot of stuff going on. There's one event here and one event there. And very often when you switch zones, here's like a zone transition, as you can see, you might get into a new instance if the previous instance is full. On softcore this happens like all the time. On hardcore not so much. But even there I can sometimes abuse this and just go back and forth between these events. And for example here's Ancient Siphon, it's one of the better events. You can try to just go back and forth between the events. Oh, 2 essence per second, that's actually very nice to have. Essence per second is really cool for Necros since you don't really generate much naturally. Just with our skills. Usually it's just like Iron Maiden to refill and stuff. Yo, Funk Doctor, thank you. So Joker, thanks for what's up. 479 Vein Hearts. Yeah, I mean, this is Season 4. I don't expect it in Season 5, they're nerfing the number of hearts you get. I mean, this is just hardcore life, you know? Like, what are you gonna do at Blood Maiden alone? There's no one there, so... Also, I find the Blood Maiden farm very boring. But you can see here now, there's probably an event. Okay, maybe not, since we are on World Tier 2 now, pretty much alone on hardcore. I think we did that earlier, right? Yeah, okay, we're gonna spawn a Hellborn here, and then it's about time to bail out. You also wanna start investing into the Golem now, since you're about to get the Golem. So he's gonna put the points already. And then you have a really powerful Golem that's pumping. Actually, I'm gonna try this. I'm not sure if it works. With the Shadow Mages and the Damned aspect. Don't understand why non-sacred and ancestral gear has any level requirement. Because equipping a 400 DPS weapon at level 1 is a bit OP. That's why. Like, what do you mean? Why should it not have a level requirement? Okay, to be a bit safer, we can do this. We can also get Kalan's Edict now. Where's the Golem? Here's the Golem. Kalan's Edict. Okay, now we have some more powerful minions. You're gonna go for capstone soon anyway, so let's just keep the blood surge, the blood mist on the bar. But look how slow this fight is now. This would be almost a runaway angle right now. Takes very long right now to take this down since our minions are all spread out. I don't have the Golem yet, but we're doing it. Okay, let's get this. And here's some more chests. We open two more and we go, I think. A rotting aspect, that's not very helpful for decompose. So far we didn't really get any powers that we care about. Actually, we open 2 more, I guess. This one, and we can go down there. 40 more cinders. We're gonna be at 27. So a bit later than I wanted to be. But it's okay. $400 DPS though, one sounds fair. Yeah, I don't know, this was a weird question, I think. Okay, here's Socket, Life, and Crit. We actually have a decent amount of crit on our minions already. Since we have this passive for it. This gives them 30% crit chance, that's a lot. Okay, we can do... Death's Defense is usually not needed. Maybe for breaking into World 3 and World 4 to keep the minions alive, but we might be fine. As long as we spam the Skeletal Priests. Whenever you have full minions active already, you can see it on the bottom right next to the health, to the resource globe. If you have full minions, you summon a priest. Looks like this. And this heals your pets and gives them a damage buff. You can see the damage buff on the duration here on the skill. And usually that's fine to keep them alive, since they buffed minions quite a lot lately. Yo, Ars27039998, thanks for this up. Okay, and now is the question, do we care about Photic? Maybe I don't. Maybe this whole damned thing is not working. I have no idea if damned aspect works. I really can't tell. If it does, it would be kind of unwise to give it up. But I also don't really have a good way of testing it currently. I would have to go and sit at a dummy now to figure it out. We could do a quick test. Just to learn if damned aspect actually does anything. It's 44%, this should be not that hard to see. We can do a little side quest here. Alright, we turn everything in. Do the Golem quest. Physics. See you, Opal. No, the 200 scythe. The blue scythe is actually more DPS. Oh, yeah, I hope we get a weapon here. 2-handed weapons. Now, normally I would take Chaos, but I really want a weapon. So I'm taking the weapon. This weapon is a bit outdated. So, let's do that. It's actually 300 dagger. That was not bad. We could have done this with the shield as well. There's 20% block chance, 45% block reduction. I wonder if Necro is also gonna benefit from the block upgrades that we're gonna get in the expansion. That has like a lot of extra, like, you know, Spiritborn block effects. Now this is actually a pretty good ring. It's 1000 damage, even though the effect is useless. Everything's flying. 310, 323. Ooh, that was very nice. Percent damage and life, the two best stats you can get. Okay. Now, we are saving this one-handed, just in case you get like a huge focus, for example. Why would you take Chaos? That's a good question. Chaos gives you the most gold. For some reason it gives you more gold than the other chests. Actually, I forgot to check how much we got, but I think it was like around 400k. I think we had 617.000 or so. So I got like almost 500,000 there. Gold. Which is pretty nice to get. Okay, maybe you should do the quest first. And then we go back to do the dungeon. Hi, Supernova. Photic works fine. I'm not sure what fine means in that context. But I'm gonna pause the timer. Let's see if we learn if it works or not. It should be possible to see a 44% damage difference. I'm gonna check that real quick. Do I have to do something special? Skeletal priests empower your warriors. Okay, so we have to get some corpses. I'm just gonna get Reap real quick, make a corpse. And we have to turn on damage numbers, and we can figure out if that thing actually works or not. So our skellies hit for like 70 to 150. And let's do a priest. Now they are hitting for 100. 230. This is tough. I guess you would have to sacrifice them with quick. So I'll do this. Okay, 100 to 140. 150, 170, 160, 110. It doesn't really seem like it works. I don't think this works. At least not a photic. They also deal 30% extra damage, so we already see that anyway. This would be like 30%, and then this would be like roughly double damage. We should deal double damage, and we don't see double damage. We can try this with the mages. This will take a while. It removed the skill from my bar once I sacrificed both. Interesting. Okay, so how much damage do those do? 260, 250, 300, 320, 220. So if I curse them, 340, 310, 300, 270, 220, 240. Nah, it doesn't work. Unfortunate. They're shadow mages, so Circle up to them does nothing for us. Okay, we got that figured out. Now, do we do these skirmishes, or do we do the corpses? Can we do anything with the corpses? We can't really do anything with the corpses, but what we can do is this. For the capstone dungeon, 99% damage reduction is actually relatively good. So... okay, we can start the timer again. We have to go to Menistat and then up here to the Necromancer quest. Whenever you use a Shadowblight aspect, it procs much faster. Oh yeah, there's no doubt that this works for Shadowblight. The question is, do they get the damage? It turns out they don't seem to get the damage. And I don't do shadow damage either, so we're gonna remove that damned aspect very fast. So we're just finishing the Golem power now, and we're already 28, so we're kind of late for doing the capstone. But it's fine. Now at this point it's kind of like a bit RNG how many temper recipes you would have. You know, you might get something really good, you might get nothing. I'm just gonna try to do like some kind of, you know, maybe 1 or 2 tempers and like 1 or 2 defensive tempers. You know, not overdo it. But depending on what you found, depending on what kind of powers you have, what kind of gear you have, you might want to go a little bit earlier or later. Just collect the bones here, just go like up and down basically. So I think this Aphotic also doesn't really help us. This would be something for later, when we have Shadowblight, but we are not going for Shadowblight anytime soon. We're just gonna run Kalan's Edict, and that's it. Just like hefty attack speed on our minions, because they are OP. They're gonna be like the main carry, and we're just gonna clean up the small stuff here with our Blood Surge. That's the idea. This is how you're gonna have like a really smooth leveling experience. Golem lever minion is said to be improved. I don't think they're doing anything with the minion AI. Are they? Yeah, the leap is gonna be nice though. Leap is definitely gonna be cool at the very least. I'm not sure if it actually makes the golem faster at doing its thing. Maybe slightly. But yeah, the golem, whenever you press the golem in Season 5, it will actually jump into the pack instead of run into the pack very fast. That might actually also make it arrive quicker. So that's a cool improvement, if that's true. Okay, Necromancer quest is so fast. Probably the fastest class quest out of all of them, right? Maybe Barb beats it. They just like collect 12 bones. Problem is just you have to run very far. Hello, Navador. I think it's also time to remove the Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion doesn't really do anything anymore. So this is Golem time. And let's do one dungeon. We do one dungeon here, the Hoarfrost Demise. We could also do it in World Tier 3 and just go capstone now. Why not? Actually. Okay, we go capstone, it's fine. Okay, let's do like a temper. So we're gonna do like 1 or 2 tempers as I said. We got a kind of useless neck there. Open the blacksmith chest for the temper recipe. So let's just put like a natural finesse, just like some percent damage. It buffs us, it buffs the pets. Let's do this again here. So we have 2 of these, and let's do like 1 life temper. You wouldn't have access to like the highest life temper, but life temper is really good if you have it. Or, you know, maybe just try to get like a bit more res, or, you know, roll a bit of life on a gear, so there's like some options here. I didn't actually get any life. I want to have like maybe around 1,000 life, so this is why we're doing this. You can go into capstone now, it would be okay, but on hardcore it's a bit risky. Oh, we have 1100 life, that should be fine. We can't imprint anything, we haven't found anything. So we're going like this here. Of course, if you have more, then imprint more or temper more. We're just doing this as like a season start imitation. I have to do a few adjustments though. We don't do any of this corpse stuff anymore. We want Decrepify now. Also no Iron Maiden actually. We go Amplify Damage for some DPS. We can also do Death's Embrace, if you can fit that in. We also probably don't want to go for Reap. We want to stay back. Go for Hemorrhage again. So we have a bit better defense. We can also change our Golem to Blood for the 30% DR. If you want to be more offensive, you're gonna go with this. But the 30 DR is... we can try it. It might be fine. It's a lot of power. Usually want to go for the second upgrade for DPS. We have the Golem already maxed out. We can't do standalone and all that. So we can do the Warrior Mastery. Or we can do Death's Embrace in case something rushes at us. But that's not too likely since we're gonna have... We can do a huge Flash if you want. And then later on we can even go for a Necrotic Carapace, we get 45. 45 is 15% DR, that's quite a lot. Yeah, we want to get a bit of corpse generation, so maybe this. Our Skellies shouldn't die since we have the 99% damage reduction. We have the Shadow Mages there. And we have the Blood Golem here for the big burst, so that should kind of carry us. Now one last thing I forgot is we want to add 2 cold rest gems here. The Curator does cold damage, and you want to have it as high as possible for this dungeon. Also lightning damage, lightning rest is not bad for the first part, for the Canimus carriers. That's not too bad. Now some people might also ask like why you're not upgrading the potions. It just doesn't matter. Just ignore the potion upgrades. It's just a waste of time until whenever, you know, you're done or so, then you can do it at some point. No, I don't really have much to put here, but I can probably put like some crit with this. Thanks Ozako and Casual Bro for the subs. Is Bone Storm a viable build for Season 5? I mean, there was like this Omni Storm setup that came about when Littlest Wall is implemented, that Echo was trying to popularize. But it was still like basically like a Bone Spear build, for example, that just had like Bone Storms everywhere. So okay, let's see how much damage we take here. We don't have Dark Shrouds or something like the Rogues do. So we are not as defensive, but we have many pets. Just need to stay out of the way of these big dudes. Not get blasted. Yeah, you see, they hurt. So yeah, we have to rely on the Golem. The Golem active is what carries us, yeah. So we try to maybe stack them up a little bit. We could do Corpse Tendrils for some CC and to pull them together, it's also not bad. This is an alternative, but I like to have the Blood Mist ready in case something goes wrong here. Don't waste your health pots. Okay. We might be able to give one of these items soon, actually. We might get lucky and get a level 28. This is 29. So we might actually get this level in this run. XP is slowly moving, you need 4 bars only. Yeah, we just want to try to like play around the pillars a little bit and stuff because of all these lightning bolts. It hurts. We are not very defensive right now. Only 1000 life is not very much. Wanna be careful. As I said, you can go for the oh, we sent our Golem off into nowhere. He teleported away, that was risky. You can go for the 30% damage reduction from the Golem, but then the Golem will also die eventually. Oh my god. He dodged my Golem twice. That was a stupid mistake, actually, of my part. But okay. We might actually be done with this side and have to go for the other side, let's check. We don't really have to clear anything here. Just keep your evade ready in case something goes wrong. And there's nothing here anymore, so let's go. Maybe try to clear these guys so we can get our level 29 upgrade. I'm gonna try to hit level 29 before the boss, so we can use that weapon. This is a very nice weapon. Doesn't have life on it. We could... Actually, I realized I forgot to roll anything. We could have rolled our items a little bit to have maybe more armor, maybe a bit more res. So we are relatively underpowered currently. Like 1 or 2 rolls. It only costs like a crystal or 2. It's not that much. Okay, careful to not maneuver yourself into an inescapable situation. Ouch. Once we get a new weapon, we're gonna be way more powerful. That's actually a really nice upgrade. The end. It's also level 29. Oh, with life on it. Nice. Okay. Almost. Get him. Alright, now we can do this one. This is very good. There's also a sword, we're gonna save that. Anything else? 30, 31, yeah, nothing yet. You can save this for later though. And I guess you can just go for something down here. Bit more healing. Might be overkill though with the healing. Just find the last guy, he's here. Let him TP first, then wait for the golem. Golem's pumping in now, look at us. 30% of the active, kapow, that's it. Alright, easy. Yeah, we have a lot of damage now, this is actually a good upgrade. Was a bit lucky to get a level 29 weapon here. I think the lowest you can get in capstone is level 28 though. So usually the weapons, they are like between 28 and, I don't know, 32 or so. Now we just run to the boss. There's actually a well, so you can refill your potions. Just run. Don't die on the way. You can just press potions, just spam. Was this cursed game? I mean, I could play without Decrepify if you want. But it's 20% damage reduction and a slow, it's pretty good. So I'm not really willing to give it up right now. Okay, we can press this. You could also wait. We have 8 out of 9. But we're probably gonna get a lot of potions once we finish this fight. Okay, here, number 1 priority target is the Sacred Physician on the left. Because he will rest the other guys. So focus him down. Dodge the big slam from the Lord Commander. That's it. Seems like they nerfed the daze. Usually the Grand Inquisitor was like the next priority target because he dazed you all the time. But that seems to be removed. He just doesn't do it anymore. I'm not sure why. You know, it was actually way easier than in Rogue last time. These minions are just destroying. And you gotta focus. Very cool. And it's actually a good power. Frenzy Dead. Attack speed for our minions. So this is something you're gonna use as soon as possible. Do you think they added any fun Banes and Boons? I mean, that would be ideal. But I don't know if they will do that in 1 month only. It's like a pretty big turnaround for Infernal Hordes. And honestly, if they still plan to do like a roguelite feature, I would much prefer to not be Infernal Hordes. So even though Infernal Hordes itself is maybe not going to be as fun, we might get something way cooler in the future that is something I enjoy much more. So I wouldn't really mind the wait if you get something better later. Alright, Golem is destroying. Find Diablo for fun. Incredible, huh? Okay, that was a bit greedy running in there. Yeah, I want to be careful here since there's crossbows everywhere. Crossbows and the big knight dudes are the #1 enemies in this part of the map. Also in the curator fight itself, there's crossbows all the time. Gotta pay attention to those, don't get sniped. Usually with like 1000 life, you should survive a hit, even with like no armor. Yeah, almost 30 actually. I might get a few other item upgrades. Also, these knights here, they can like stun you for extended time. Wanna pay a bit attention to that. We have another potion. Precision. Now we could do Gruesome Mending and then Coralie's Blood. I think I'm gonna do Death's Embrace though for now. It also has a defensive component, which is very nice. I think they're not really updating the necro tree that much anyway, right? In Season 5, there's like not that many changes. At least so far that we know. Just like all the lucky hit stuff is getting buffed, but that's pretty irrelevant for now. And some other like aspect changes and stuff. But generally, not really much is happening. The number one build you want to transition into later is the Bone Spirit. At least judging from the PTR, that was by far the best Necro build. In fact, maybe the best build in the game. And then everything else on the Necro seeming like relatively mid. Okay, we are 30. We have Cold Res. 40% is pretty decent. I would equip this if it didn't have a temper. You can still get it back. It's 400 extra armor, it's a lot of armor, look at that. But we're just gonna go in now. Play this carefully, we have 9 out of 9 potions. Let's go. Okay, the minions are actually pumping. Alright. I need to try to produce a corpse there. Oh, the minions are actually tanking him too, so... Okay, pay attention to where the crossbows are. Oh. I'll just play it safe, stay at a distance, let the minions do the job. Very easy actually. And that's it, we have a sigil, we inverted 3. 1 hour exactly, that's okay. Here's a shield. Coldbringer, that is an okay power to have actually. And sacrificial, that is not okay for what we want to do. Okay, we go over to 3. So now our objective is to get a level 35. Which is less than 5 levels away. And the way to do this is to use that sigil that we just got and go straight into an Diamond Dungeon. Now we could check if we wanna maybe use some of these other items that we found here. Here's a one-handed. This one has more damage a little bit, but it's not really worth investing like any materials into stuff now or whatever, so I think we are just gonna ignore all of this and try to get sacred items right away. That is very good though, that's a lot of armor. Boom. At this point I would actually like to have something like 3.5, 4k armor maybe to be nearly capped, I'm not sure exactly. That would be nice, but we are far away from it. So we have to be careful for now. Just salvage all. Renegade's Retreat. Has a lot of knights and cannibals, I believe. Relatively easy monster type. As long as you don't get smacked by the big dudes. So for the first dungeon in World Tier 3, and also once we go into World Tier 4, it's gonna be the same. We're gonna be very weak, we're gonna go kind of slow. We're gonna have the same setup here. And we just try to get to 35 with a few sacred items. And then we have a huge power spike. Okay, I gotta be careful, there's actually invisible dudes here, the throat slitters. I kind of forgot about these. So don't get caught. But yeah, this pack here was already half a level almost. Just like 2 elites, 3, 4 dudes. So that's gonna go very fast. Once you're 35, you get a few sacred items, maybe get lucky with an event or something. Also, if you have any obos, we actually collected like around 300 obos or something. How much did we start with? 2080, I think. So we have like 230 obos, 270 obos. Very nice. So we can use those to fill in the gaps once you're level 35. Don't waste them right when you enter World Tier 3. Wait until 35, because you don't know what you're gonna find. Send in a Golem. Make sure you nuke down those champions. Going relatively smooth. Okay, here, careful though, it's frozen. Oop, almost walked in actually. We do have an unstoppable these days, which is the Golem. Golem makes it unstoppable, which is kind of cool. And we also have the Blood Mist, but try not to use the Blood Mist at all. Also be careful in case there's Arsonists here, but I think this monster type doesn't have Arsonists. Arsonist is like a hardcore noob trap, I would say. These are the fire crossbow bandits. But I think that here we just have marksmen, they're different. They just shoot arrows. Arsonists shoot like fire arrows on the ground and they explode after a few seconds. And they do a lot of damage, they hit like a truck. Gotta be very careful. Just like do some random blood surge casts sometimes, because throw hitters are everywhere. They can come out of stealth once you hit them. Alright, we have this last point here and we still have 17 points to get. Here, look, these guys. You see, we do like a right click and they come out of stealth. So you don't get surprised. Click the healing well, because that might be cursed. The main objective, outside of getting to 35, is to find events. Cursed events, cursed chests, cursed shrines, last stand. All these events, they're really juicy. You wanna do them. Almost all of them are worth it. No-brainer. Worth it. For XP at least. And they also give you overalls, they give you loot. Very good for leveling. Later you skip them when you're like level 100. You don't really do events that much anymore, but they can still give you Angel Breath, which is very useful for enchanting. Okay, this is actually going really smooth. Compared to Rogue. With Rogue I was kinda weak here. And I actually just realized I forgot to do the Stronghold. Oh, this is a bit nasty here right now with the water. Okay. So I was inclined to press Blood Mist, but I kept holding on to it. But this would have been a moment to press Blood Mist. Not very likely, but we got out of it. Don't get blasted by fire. Sacred Buckler. Ah. Okay. The Golem does so much damage, man. It's crazy. Oh. This is what I mean here. 2 throw hitters. Boom, half-life. Maybe it was only 1. They do a lot of damage. So despite this being a relatively easy dungeon, you gotta pay attention to those throat hitters. They might just stab you. That's it. Oh, here we go. Yo. Let's do it. Okay, careful though, because there's a lot of enemies spawning. Like these green ghosts here that have banshees. Also crossbows might be spawning here. So don't get blasted. Here we go. Very good XP though, very nice. You're gonna be 35 right away now. We found no items though. That's unfortunate. So with 35, if we had second items now, it would actually be a World Tier 4 angle. We don't even have to finish the dungeon, we can't even get any glyph upgrades or anything. There's no reason to finish the dungeon. But you don't have any gear. That's the bigger problem. Okay, let's finish this here. Don't stand in the fire. And see what we got. Okay, we got a few things. Yeah. Not too impressive, to be honest, so far. Got a wand. Not even that much more item power. So we're gonna get a bit more stuff before we continue. I'm gonna do this. Colorless blood now. Gruesome Mending is not that bad, actually. Especially, I think, in the expansion. When you have extra 10 points, or 12 points or something. I think a lot of builds will pick up Gruesome Mending. It's just nice. Extra healing. From all sources. If you can fit it. Why go for Nightmare Dungeon instead of Helltide? Yeah, so in World Tier 3, Nightmare Dungeons give you a 30% XP bonus. It's a hidden bonus. And in World Tier 4, Nightmare Dungeons give you an 80% bonus. So in World Tier 4, there's no question about it. You always go And that bonus actually extends to the pit as well. They put the same bonus into the pit. Now the thing is, Helltide is significantly harder than Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons is kind of slow paced, not so much going on. In fact, we don't even have an affix here right now. There's Monster Barrier. So there can be an affix already. Monster Barrier, I mean, just makes it a bit more tanky, that's it. So you got kind of lucky on that end. If you had a floating rock, this would be a bit harder. But in Helltide, since they buffed it in Season 4, there's so much going on. There's monsters spawning on you all the time. There's worms coming out of the ground, throwing like 5 elites at you. Like, it's very likely you walk in there with level 29, and you just get insta-blasted and you're dead, and that's it. And then you're back in cover shot. So, at least on hardcore. Even in softcore, it's very hard to actually do Helltide. So you can try, but there's so much stuff going on that if you're under-geared, yeah, most of the time it's just not the way. And here you kind of like, you know, slowly progress. You get some loot, maybe get an event, and you have full control. So this is why I do it. And usually after one dungeon you're done. You know, one dungeon, you know, 35. We're already way past 35 now, as you can see. We just got under-give the loot and we went maybe a bit too late. Another thing you could have done is, you could have saved a few of the cinders, if the Helltide was still running. Do the capstone, take like 300, 400 cinders, go to World Tier 3, just open chests. Especially softcore, you can YOLO and just, worst case, die. Open the chests. As long as you can kind of clear the area around the chests, you're good. And then you have a bunch of sacred loot already. If you have a twink, you can also use the leveling caches. You can craft some at the alchemist. You get a bit of twink loot. I think at this point you should also get, for example, like a season journey cache, or like a season theme cache, you know, like the Iron Wolf stuff. Something like that is probably gonna exist in Season 5. And you would have a bit of gear. Right now we don't though, so... We're definitely under-geared compared to what we should be in the season start, I'd say. But okay, we're just looking for like another event or kill the boss. The boss is gonna drop a few items. And then we're just gonna gamble the rest and we go World Tier 4. A bit later, it's fine. We're gonna be slightly over-leveled, basically, for what we want it to be. Here's a helm. Getting very unlucky with legendary drops, I feel. We're not really getting anything. Has a lot of life, that thing, that's good. We could do the shield on the one hand as well. As life int. Int starts becoming a bit more valuable now, compared to what I explained earlier. So life int is fine, percent damage, life is fine. This is the stuff we want to have right now on our weapons. Crit is okay, attack speed is okay. Maybe some essence per second would be nice. Movement speed wherever we can. I don't have any movement speed really besides the passive. Okay, we have the shield now, which is cool. I don't want to switch to this chest yet. We will switch to it once we're in town. But we want to get the temper back. Okay, we had the artillery shrine, that was very nice. Even without the artillery shrine, we would be level 35 now though, easily. So this was just like a nice little XP boost there. And at 55 you can use ancestral items where you have like another really huge power spike. Getting Indra to open the chests is wild, yeah, it's rough. Okay, this is Outlaw Sharpshooter here. Just don't get sniped by him, I guess. And we should be fine. Just run circles. And that's it. Oh, we dropped 2 legendaries, that's very nice. Okay. So we go kill a shard and prepare for capstone. And that's why I'm trying to do this run case squared. 17. I'm trying to explain. Yo, we got a slaughter aspect. That's a really cool aspect to have. And we also have some res on this. That's very good. Nice. Expected not very nice, but the stats are decent. Okay, sacred. Now there is actually consideration here. Sacred items cost more to imprint and to roll. This is 6 rare crystals to roll. And there's only 4. Not a huge difference actually. But okay. Let's see what else we got here. Don't want any of this. We don't need Aphotic anymore. We could imprint it, but I don't think we care. Okay, we take the chest. We get rid of this. Oh, we want the Frenzied Dead though. So that's a very good power to have. We finally got something. I will keep my shield for now, since I have like a very powerful one-handed. But if you don't have mats, you could also just equip it. 581 would be okay. It's 500 DPS, this is almost 700. It's okay, that's okay. Sacrificial, unfortunately, doesn't help us. Alright, so we have actually a bunch of items to improve here. But we do have the power. So we go for a glove. Very nice. Yeah. The overpower damage is actually mildly useful. In Season 5, minions can now overpower. Doesn't really do much for like synergies, but it's something. Okay, poison rest, not bad. Actually, one thing you can do as a necro, that's like a really good tech. You can sacrifice your melee skellies for the res. This is like a pretty popular choice as well, if you feel like you need to solve your res somehow. But we're gonna try to do this without. Let's do ring and ring. That ring is very good. I think we have like 100 more balls also, 130 I think. Story amulet. Very nice, it has lots of res and some life, that's exactly what you want. It's just life everywhere is good. Some res. Do we want to do this other ring? I gamble one more item. And I think I will. Okay, that paid off. Alright. Alright, so we do this. Now we imprint Frenzied Death since we found that. Very good. It's a bit stronger than the one we found. Doesn't mean that, but though it's fine. I'm not gonna do damned again. That's just a waste of resources. And I'm not sure about this one. I mean, they give us a slight chance to stun and so on, but does it matter? Not really. Okay, we have 2 sockets. We would like to get maybe a bit more res. So this is like now the moment. Do we sacrifice our skellies? And the answer is probably yes. Because it just solves everything. Boom. You see that? In fact, now we have only 4 minions. I wonder how this is gonna go. Each active minion reduces bonus by 2. So we have 4 minions, it's like still 10 DR. So we can do that. It's a bit weird, but okay. We can also try to go for the fortify. Okay, now we're gonna try to do like 1 or 2 rolls, not too much. Just to get something like armor would be very good. We have 3.8k armor. We're getting to the territory where armor starts being useful. So let's try. We got life. It's 840 armor, that's very good. We keep the poison. There's life per second. I got a movement. Okay. We keep the shadow res. We keep that, we keep that. Life on hits. The poison rest doesn't help us, unfortunately. Neither does the shadow. And we can try something here. 760 armor, very good. So we got kind of nice armor rolls. Yeah, that 4% int is pretty pointless. Let's try one more roll. He has 5 crit, I'm taking that. And now we can do 3 rubies, very nice. We do 1 lightning, 1 cold. I think we would have probably mats for 2 or 3 rubies. I'm just gonna put them. Not sure how much we would have at this point. So we do a topaz. We do a sapphire. And we don't really have anything to put here. I guess crit. We just do emeralds. We have a bit of crit. My minions have more crit than me. Boom. Yeah, now we have really good armor, cat res almost. And we have 2.4k life, it's not very good, but we can start tempering stuff again now. So let's temper like 3 offensive items, I would say. And maybe 2 defensive items. We could also temper res, for example, at this point. You would definitely have a res temper that I can put somewhere to also fix your res. So once you go over to 4, maybe this could be an option. He's gonna do something like an armor or a life roll. Let's see if we get anything. Oh my god, dodge. Okay, not what he wanted. Okay, 1 life roll. And we do offensive. So let's do natural finesse 1 or 2. And maybe like 1 summoning damage or something. Just to kind of like even it out a bit. And we have this here. So summoning Golem or summoning would probably be what we want. Here we go. We could do a 4th one. Trying to get a summoning. Here we go. Okay, 6k armor, 3k life. We are going to be well protected. Level 40. Let's go. Don't have any power, so it's basically full yellow setup. Just have Frenzy Dead. That's the only power I got that actually does something. And we have no skellies. Melee skellies. Because we sacrificed them for the res. But this is a very easy way to get the res up. So you could temper more stuff, try to roll more res or something. But 25 always is kinda juicy. We're gonna be pretty tanky now. We have a shield. The expected aspect on a necro, man, it's kinda funny. Alright. Let's see how this will go. Basically, golem carry, that's it. Shield gets ruby, it's life. Oh, we socketed the wrong thing. True, it's an armor socket, you're right. It should be a ruby. Yeah. Kind of same story as what I talked about of the tempers earlier. I mean, maybe for the gem it's okay to be an armor. But it should at least have weapon tempers, since it's a weapon slot. So, I guess the shield is like in a pretty weird spot when it comes to that stuff. But okay, we don't really have to kill anything, but we do like a quick check to see how it goes. Golem is pumping. Kapow. Let's press the golem. I didn't one tap the champion though. We feel pretty tanky though, so that's okay. Okay, don't get frozen from the cold enchanted dudes. Hello, thanks for sub, man. Just gonna just run to the event. It's not really any reason to kill anything here. It's not really good XP. Fights are long and slow. You just run. Just try to not lose too much life and too much potions. Yeah, it's not the fastest run that we're gonna do here. But I mean, we're at 1.5 hours right now. Entering World Tier 4 soon, in probably like at 140 or so. So that's fine. I think on the Rogue we were quite a lot slower. We were like 2 hour 20 here or something. I'm like, when I killed the Elias, if I remember correctly. Yo, Ramza, thanks man. Season's in a week. Okay, clean up this event here. The monsters in this event don't actually give XP, so there's not really a reason to kill anything while you're waiting. But before the end of the timer, you can start cleaning. Hello, Hot Swarm. Sork gonna be blasting, gonna go Sork seasons. I think a lot of people will probably go and play Sork. Sork looks like it might be the strongest class with all the buffs they're about to get. And I guess people are kind of itching for some Sork. And there's good builds now. There's the chain lightning stuff. There's the lightning spear. There's the Andariel stuff. There's a frozen orb that's getting buffed. And who knows what else in the... Like I guess Fireball is gonna get like a huge bump up. For example, because there's 2 uniques. Both of them are probably gonna get huge buffs and stuff like that. We'll see. Kinda excited as well for some Sork. I might start Sork or Druid. Okay, again we just kind of run to the event here. Killing that elite there was pretty useless. We didn't even get an item. We don't really care about any items at this point. We just want to get to World Tier 4 and get like ancestral loot. So just kind of kite them around, keep your evade ready as long as possible, keep your blood mist ready, run in there, they will all evade, and here we go. Be careful of the fallen shamans here, especially the blue ones, the carvers. They can cause explode, freeze you. Don't want to get frozen there. And of course the lunatic explosions are pretty dangerous. Just take the thing and run. Sork is pretty bad in next season, lol. Says a chatter in chat. Well, I disagree. Okay, we're gonna go for more 45 from Drain Vitality. Okay, here gotta be a bit careful. We kind of want to clean this up a little bit, since we might run into any of the animals carriers at any moment. So we don't want to just like YOLO kite around the entire dungeon with us, since there's no resets now. We actually got a... Never mind, we didn't... we didn't get anything. It was just materials. But they're also useful. If this is like day 1, even getting like these abstruse sigils and stuff is kind of nice, just to temper more. While you're getting your early equipment. I never unlocked the Codex power, by the way. I should do it now after this dungeon. Gonna do a Stronghold and the Hoarfrost Demise. Okay, one thing to get careful with here is Succubi. Succubis are very dangerous enemies. When there's many of them and they shoot you with lots of projectiles, or when they have multi-shot, for example. Oh, that was a nice on-tap from the Golem. No animal carriers anywhere. They're all hiding somewhere. They have a very random distribution. They can be like pretty much anywhere. And this, they can even be stacked up together, like 3 of them. We saw Chronix die with a necro against 3 animals carriers in the race that we were doing like a few weeks ago. Very fun race. We did a kind of like an Iron Man challenge. No tempering, no imprinting, no gambling. Hardcore race, that was very cool. Very fun. And Chronix died right before the end. The target was Elias. And he died against these animals carriers because there were 3 of them. He pulled 3 of them at once. And then he got wrecked. Alright, here is one. What you need to know about the Animals Carriers is they have a charge. I'm gonna try to show it. It's this one. He kind of like stomps on the ground and then he does like this big cold wave. Yeah, this one. And he can also charge at you. If you're far away, he actually charges at you and then does it. So that you have to like look at the tail and not get hit by this. It does a lot of damage. Now we are cold res capped, so we're kind of chilling. We don't really have to be that threatened by it. But most people probably won't be cold res capped here, and they do hurt. We should check up there. There might actually be an Animals Carrier hiding. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, always pay attention to where these guys are looking. As soon as they do their cold attack... Oh, there's two of them actually. Wow. As soon as they do a cold attack, they're actually pretty harmless. Outside of when they raise both of the weapons above the head. Ooh, that actually did more damage than I thought. More than half of my life. If they both hit me, I'm dead. I didn't expect that. Anyway. When they raise both the weapons above the head, this is pretty dangerous as well, because they can smack you down and stun you. And then that's over. That's it. That happens. So... I wonder if we're gonna be better off with Necrotic Carapace. 45 for 2% when we form a corpse. We don't really form many corpses though. So I think we do this. Just get a bunch of fortified. We're already a bit of fortified, but it goes very slow. Not really doing much damage with our Blood Surge currently, but once we get an aspect or two, we will. We just don't really have anything. We're basically just running on completely yellow items. We have one legendary aspect. Frenzy dead. Everything else is completely pointless. It's just yellows. So we are actually at a pretty weak spot here. We could go for more dungeons, more codex powers if you wanted. Imprint something. And you could do this way smoother if you just like wait another 20 minutes, do 3 dungeons, get 3 powers. And you could still be here sub 2 hours and have a way easier time by just getting a few things. Blood Surge power, a minion power or 2. Occult the minion, for example, I think is also a codex power if I'm not mistaken. +2 mages and +2 warriors. +3 if you put it on neck. So there's a bunch of stuff you can unlock. Always make sure you get the Decrepify up. These are got a Holy Bolts. Huh. That's cheating though. I'm not gonna use it right now. We're almost at the end of the dungeon. But I can use it once we're in Road to 4. Alright, we need to find one more dude. Not here. Seems. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's like so many succubi. Also a Carver Shaman that can freeze us. You don't wanna get frozen. So better do a cast there. Bloodless. Okay, I'm not really sure where to put my last 2 points now. We could up Decrepify, we could also, I guess we can invest into the Skeletal Mastery at this point. Or, actually, we can get the corpses. Yeah, how about that? Let me try this. We do the corpses here, 1 there, and we do 1 there. And now we can actually get 45 from our Bloodless. That's not bad. Got a Living Steel. Minions inherit their armor and resists. They inherit basically all of the base stats. Crit, attack speed, life, armor, res, etc. So they are basically kind of like capped by default with your res. Like all these like nodes that I have on the Paragons as well are completely outdated. There's like a lot of like, you know, skelly armor and golem, res and whatever on the tree, and that's all completely pointless because they just get it anyway from you. There's also like, for example, this here, the Death's Defense, armor and res for your minions, completely pointless. So this is like a bit of outdated stuff here since they did this update in Season 4. Before that, there was actually a bit of a reason to invest into it, I guess, to keep your minions alive. But no more. Now one thing we can do once we have our skellies back, once we invert tier 4 and we have a bit of res, is we can go for the Reapers with the cooldown reduction, and then we can get our Golem power back really fast all the time. So that's really good. So the Golem active ability is actually what we use here to nuke. Okay, we have 9 of 9 potions, we go in. Let's get him. We have not found a single scroll of escape yet, which on hardcore is mildly scary, but we are res capped. One thing to note about Elias is he does mostly fire and a bit of shadow damage. So for the dungeon, we want cold for the animus carriers, and then we want fire and shadow for the boss. Poison is not very important here. And lightning is also not very important, but you want to be careful with lightning, since lightning enchanted elites exist and they hurt. Okay, we don't have much damage right now. Takes a while. But the Golem is pumping. Just kill the minions, dodge everything. It's actually getting staggered. Just run circles, since he has a lot of projectiles he's shooting at you, and then dodge these fire thingies. For this attack, I just use Blood Mist to cheat a little bit. But either you tank one, don't panic, tank one, and you're fine. Or you just stand really close to him, and then kind of like run behind him immediately. That also works here. In this case, you just tank one now, we were too far away. But if you're closer to him, you can kind of just like wait for the first wave, and then it's like left, right, I think. So you just like dodge behind him, and then you run in front of him again. You can dodge all of them. Okay, we are in World Tier 4. Let's go. Blood Mist feels like cheating, but it's necessary for necro. To be fair, I've barely used it, and so far it has not actually really done anything for me. I actually very often play hardcore necro without any Blood Mist. It's just that we don't really have much else to put on the bar currently. Later you could do something like a Bone Storm or whatever, but depends a bit on the build as well, or like Army of the Dead actually. Army of the Dead is very powerful. Once you have an aspect, there's an aspect that makes Army of the Dead like a damage cooldown. In that case, I would probably remove Blood Mist and go Army of the Dead. In that case, if you had that aspect, I'm not sure what it's called right now. Unyielding Commander, maybe? You just walk in, you press Army, the boss is dead. That's it. So... Okay, now we are on World Tier 4, and it's Stronghold time. We're gonna do Malnog now, because that unlocks Hoarfrost Device for the Bloodthirst power. Now the hardest part is to get to the Stronghold. Don't die. But we still have 3k life, we're gonna be okay. Should also check what we've actually found here. Good thing about doing Strongholds is, if you go World Tier 4, you get the bonus XP multiplier, but the monsters are not actually harder. They're still the same. They don't scale up. We got a Shadow Blight passive. Okay, we got a Needle Flare. Oh my god. An Empowering Reaper. We get really crappy powers, yeah? You see, these guys are level 45. Just 2 levels above my character. That's always true, unless you are below the minimum level of the Stronghold itself, as you learned yesterday. Strongholds have a minimum level. So if you go here too early, they will still be X level. But other than that, they will always be only 2 levels above you on any world tier. So you can get a bit of like kind of easy XP. The thing is about Strongholds, it sounds better than it really is, because look how little XP we're actually getting. Since there's just not that many monsters in Strongholds. Strongholds are very short. But if you do like 5 or 10 Strongholds in a row, you can get an easy 1 or 2 level ups. We get a Shared Misery. Dude, we're getting really crappy aspects, unfortunately. So, it's a bit sad. The weapon is also, I mean, it's a DPS improvement of 200, that's not terrible. So we should save that for later. 728 offhand there. But yeah, in 11 levels we're gonna use Ancestral Gear, so we're not really gonna do that much with these items now that we found. But we could need more res, if I'm honest. I think it's time now to actually go and temper like 1 or 2 resistances. We can do something on the helm. We can try to change that armor on the pants. And the objective is to just get a full set of ancestral gear that doesn't have completely terrible stats. And level 55 we equip everything and then we are in blast mode. And then we are basically ready to go to 100. And you just kind of like stick to the build. And destroy everything. Okay, we have 5 more skill points to get. 3 will go into the skeleton mastery. We could also pick up stuff like imperfectly balanced or so later. So once you go like for like a proper setup, you can definitely min-max this a bit more. Oh nice, you got ancestral loot from this guy actually. Interesting. I didn't know. How did we get ancestral loot? That's funny. With a very good ring. And a shield. And a neck. And a weapon. Very good. Okay. Rhyme Scar. Oh, wait a minute. This was actually useless. Fortress Demise is here. I confused it with Rhyme Scar Cavern. Oops. Fortress Demise is here. We don't actually have to do the strongholds. But okay. Unlucky. Okay, now there's one thing. We don't have a sigil for tier 21. Which is maybe getting fixed. So Elias drops a sacred sigil, which should be an ancestral sigil. Maybe that's getting fixed, but we have no indication so far that this is happening. If this is not happening, you have to go and do whispers now. So you have to go like 1 round of whispers, just like do harvest whispers. Maybe, yeah, Helltide would be too risky at this point. I think you don't want to stay out of Helltide, but do harvest, do something like a corpse here, like a corpse there, maybe a cellar. In 10 minutes you're done. You turn in, you get a sigil. Okay, so the strat actually right now would probably be to just go to 3 and finish this dungeon real quick, just to get the power. You okay, Lord? Thank you. Do you do 0 to hero for last Epoch? I could do something similar for last Epoch as well at this point, I think. But it's not last Epoch time right now. But maybe in the next cycle I'll do something like that. By the way, if you have any questions and stuff that I should be answering about the class or like the general progression. I am playing Necro, yeah. Minion armor has 1 niche use, which is Fawn's Bone Golem. True. I think there's like something we can scale that, right? It's gonna be interesting in the expansion. Spiritborn also has like some armor to damage conversion effects. So armor stacking is actually gonna be a theme. How would you want to build Necro of a Metamorphosis aspect and a new Blood Mist evade together? Yeah, you have to put 1 on the neck. I don't think it's a good combo though. Like, first of all, it's kind of questionable that Metamorphosis actually goes twice as far. It doesn't even work. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's like a new aspect that makes you... Okay, it's a very crazy aspect. It says your evade cooldown resets when you enter and exit Blood Mist. And this actually resets all of your evade charges. If you have 4 evade charges, it resets all of them. You can do 4 evades, go into Blood Mist, do 4 evades in Blood Mist, and in Blood Mist they actually go twice as far. So you have basically 8 evades in Blood Mist, and you come out and do 4 more. It's ridiculous. I've shown this off on the PTR. It's insane. You can go like 3 screens with this. Evade, 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 and you like 3 screens in like 5 seconds. It's crazy. So, pretty wild. And, yeah. I don't think you want to combine this with Metamorphosis though. Like, it's already quite a cost to put a mobility aspect in your build. It's certainly not a good idea to put it on your neck, unless you do like Hell Tides. Okay, Hell Tide, you know, even with like triple profane mind cages, you can make a build powerful enough. But for any like serious content, you're not gonna do a mobility aspect on neck. It's just not how the game works. So yeah, I've not tried Metamorphosis with this new Bloodless aspect, so I can't tell. We entered Bloodless there to spawn a corpse so we can use our Skeletal Priest. For the 30% extra damage. Okay, now we have Hoarfrost Demise. So this Stronghold I did was completely pointless. Forget about that. Maybe I unlock some other dungeons. I mean, maybe they're part of the Nightmare Dungeon rotation. Actually, I think they're not changing Nightmare Dungeon rotation, so I think these dungeons are actually behind the Stronghold in the Nightmare Dungeon rotation. We got Craven, an Empowering Reaper, and Decay. Man, we're getting not lucky at all. Alright, so going back to Verti 4, we can imprint the Blood Storage aspect now. I will put it on the ring. Usually I would probably put it on the neck or something. Actually, let me see. How does it work these days? They buffed it at some point. Blood Search. This one. Okay, so this used to have like a much bigger penalty for the second cast. Now it's almost no penalty. In the past you wanted to put this on like a two-handed or a neck. Now it really doesn't matter, so you'd actually want to put this on just a normal slot. I don't even have a perfect version, so let's just go with that. So you have a double cast almost. Some more AoE damage. Okay. And we are 45, so we have to get to 50 now, that's the main objective. We craft a sigil now, so if you don't get it, as I said, you have to do it around the Whispers now, but you're just gonna assume we have the sigil. Maybe you got lucky and got a sigil powder, you could maybe craft one. Shifting City. It's also behind the Stronghold, so we have to go through the Stronghold now if you get that. Let's do another. Goam Ruins, and it's 24, it's a bit high. Very short dungeon. Our objective is not to clear it very fast yet. Later we want to just like speedrun to the end for the glyph XP. Right now we don't even have glyphs, so we're gonna just try to get XP and loot. Open all the chests, maybe do events if you find. Be careful, our res is low again. Armor is looking fine though. But yeah, we want to play this safe now. Level 78, yeah, plus 33 levels, that's a lot. But Golem is pumping. Buff him up with the priests. And as soon as we have a bit of more res on our gear, we will get our Skellies back and we can get Reapers for the cooldown. And then we have basically Blood Mist all the time, whenever we want. And we have Golem whenever we want. Looking okay though, yeah. These guys are a bit dangerous, the Quartermasters. They have like a big slam. Wanna pay attention to those. I wonder if we're gonna get some new seasonal elixirs, just like Holy Bolts and stuff. That's gonna be like a regular thing. Momentum elixir, also very nice. Once you're a bit stronger, we can use momentum elixirs. And then just run. You can cap movement speed. A lot of people always complain that necro is slow and clunky, but that's completely untrue. Everyone gets to 200% movement speed, which is the cap, very easily. Even before level 100, you can already get 100% extra bonus. And momentum is one of those enablers here early on. But later you just try to get like movement speed on the boots, movement speed on the neck, and by movement speed on both. Maybe get like a Wind Striker or like a Ghostwalker aspect or a Slaughter aspect or something like that. Or one of the new powers as well, there's like a cool Sever power or Evade power in Season 5 that allows you to have a mobility skill. I think that my Golem just did not do damage to the suppressor guy because he had the bubble up and I was outside. Is that true? That's wild. I need to try this again if I get the opportunity. At what point should I switch off shield? The shield is just there because I don't have anything else. I don't want the shield really. You basically use a shield just as any offhand. The good thing about shield is, for example, I have an ancestral weapon now here. I don't have an ancestral offhand. Actually there's a shield, but ignore the shield here. If I only had the sword, I can use any shield. I can use a normal shield. And I will get the 80% damage bonus. That's the strength of the shield. If you have a good weapon, you just equip it with any shield and you go. Later on, you don't really want shields anymore. Shields are pretty off-meta currently, since you can't weapon temper them, and a lot of builds want weapon tempers. Not all of them. You can get away without weapon tempers on some. Like minion builds, for example, they don't really have much, I think, for weapon tempers, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what's there. He's like, no. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I promised to Golem. Looks like he did some damage, but kind of low. Maybe it was just like a random skelly hit. I think the suppressor bubble actually prevents my Golem from doing damage. If I compare this to like the usual damage output. Yeah, if I press Golem now, boom. He does like a third. Very strange. Ah, nice. Lots of weapons actually. Which is something I already have, but maybe get something better. Okay, no events. We are level 48. And we want to get our scheduled mastery up. Only weapons. 814 though. Okay, it's not a survive event. If this was a survive 30 seconds event, you have to be very careful, because this is by far the hardest. Levels is easy. You can even finish it before killing these guys. You don't have to kill these guys, because they don't give XP here in these events. Survive 30 seconds is hard because it just spawns elites over and over and over, and there's like 20 elites at the end. And they just like stun you, freeze you, throw a lot of stuff. Gotta be careful of that. And we want to retreat a little bit, actually. So, if you're in a hardcore, and you don't have a scroll, and you walk into this room, and you don't see levers, then you want to be very sure. Because you don't get out for 30 seconds. I don't have a scroll of escape yet, which is very unlucky, I think. At this point, we would expect a scroll. I have not found one. But it is what it is, so... We could probably deal with... Oh, my skellies are dead, actually. Very annoying pack here. But we're trying to get all the loot we can. And we keep getting weapons, man. What is this? 5 weapons. New video from the Diablo 4 Blizzard channel. Okay, we can watch that soon. We're almost level 50. We're gonna check it out later. Okay, we don't actually have skeleton warriors right now. So I'll just put the points there anyway already. Whenever you have your bloodlust on cooldown, be a bit more careful. You don't want to get caught in a CC. A golem is also usually used on cooldown. Not fully unsolvable. And we are very weak currently. We have like no powers. Good thing is in Season 5 you can use a potion while Seed, which is currently not possible, so you're gonna be much safer actually. So Blood Mist, for example, not really such an important tool anymore in the future. World T4 was in Thessaloniki. Yeah, we have in Thessaloniki. If you're talking about the Stronghold earlier, it's because the monsters are not actually torment level monsters. They were like level 45 or so. For some reason the boss dropped ancestral items, which is very surprising since he wasn't also really high level. Usually it's tied to the level, but in this case it might also be tied to Stronghold completion maybe, like some extra loot reward for killing the boss. Very strange to get some. Yeah, I think the suppressor actually prevents my Golem from doing damage when I press the button. Very interesting. It's happened like 3 times now. I'm pretty sure this is actually a thing. If you're not in a suppressor bubble, you press the Golem. It doesn't seem to do damage. Strange. We got level 50. Let's go. We pick everything. This is like a nice power spike here. We also have armor now. We have damage now. 6.4k. We're almost capped, I think, against these levels. So that's nice. I'm not sure how much I need exactly it is, but 6.5, 7k or so is pretty decent. And we don't put a glyph. Just ignore the glyph until you get something to put there. We haven't actually found a single glyph yet. Dude, why does Necro have like infinite amount of blue glyphs? 8 blue glyphs, man. And I want 0 of them. Can I just like delete them? Imagine that. So, level 50 is like the big first power spike, and the second is level 55. Once you are 55, you have ancestral loot, you're gonna do like triple the damage, you have triple the toughness, and you're gonna be chilling. At that point, you're gonna be just running, and we're gonna go all in on movement speed, and all that. I didn't get any events, unfortunately. No loot, no obels. A bit sad. Maybe this is a cursed one. Nope. I'm gonna check the last corner if there's anything. Oh, there could be something. Looks like it continues. There might be something here. It's gonna kind of run. Still getting really fast XP here. Ooh, that's maybe too many elites there. We did get a power spike, but we're not like invincible. That comes once we have ancestral gear equipped. And this is a lot of stuns here, so let's play careful. We have to use our Blood Mist. Like you can kind of get perma-stunned here very easily from these eyes, so you gotta be careful. Because they just keep throwing stuff at you. The good thing is we have the suppressor and mod on the dungeon. So they all just have suppressor and don't really do anything. And I use my golem with nothing because of the suppressor. That's cool. Got a helm. A very nice one. 4 essence per second and life. You're gonna use that for a while. Okay. Yeah, I don't even bother putting a glyph there. Just wait for any yellow to drop, that does nothing. No event here actually. Inside the game, Season of Infernal Hordes, okay. I guess that's just like a bit of a showcase. Is there any choosing new info? Maybe we're gonna see what they've changed. We can check out what's going on there. Alright, we go up to the Sea Hack. Deface Shrine Cap. I didn't know. I didn't see where it is. If you get like a blast wave or so, that could significantly shortcut the boss fight. So actually, I wanna check. Where is it? Yeah. Protection doesn't help us much. Okay. So in this case, we have a bunch of different options here for our Paragon boards. Now, of course, you can just follow whatever build you're going to follow. Cult Leader is a very good one, though, so like anything with minions. Oh, no, wait. I might die here. I walked in with 0 potions. Okay, whoopsie. So, I gotta pay attention here. Maybe she dropped some potions. How did that happen? I have 0 potions. I didn't pay attention at all. Because I was looking at my paragons. Okay, there's potions, let's go. She hits like a truck, so you don't want to stand in those geysers. Especially, they can stack. They actually can be stuck on top of each other, and then you get double damage. You gotta be careful of that. Alright. Alright, we should be fine. Yeah, that was funny. Okay, now one thing. Do not, under any circumstance, upgrade any of your blue glyphs. Ever. Because if you do that, then they will be shown at the top of the glyph interface, because they're the highest level. So do not touch them. You're just inting. You got a lot of items here, that's actually good. A blog post too. Okay. Slay endless demons in Season of the Infernal Hordes. Okay, cool. As I said, we're gonna finish this run first, and then we're gonna go over this. Alright, we're almost 51, we're gonna do just the next sigil, which is a 25 Betrayer's Row. Not very easy. You have another Holy Bolts though. Betrayer's Row has a lot of animals carriers. Yeah, we're soon done with this run anyway. It's gonna be like probably half an hour or something. Until we are set up and ready to blast to 100 basically, and then this is nearly the end already. Kind of short compared to the Rogue. The Rogue was an hour longer or something. Kinda crazy. And it's even funnier when you think about my most and least played classes. Necro is just really powerful. What's that? Alright, we wanted to go Cult Leader, huh? Cult Leader, and then we also have Alchemy Monstrosity is very nice to pick up. Flesh Eater is good once you get Sacrificial Soul Ring from Marshan, or if you find it. I really like Flesh Eater, but not when you have to do it manually, even with like all the minion stuff I'm pressing here. So I don't really want to do this yet. There's Scent of Death, always nice to pick up on any build. It's like the 1 or 2 universal boards basically. Bonegraft, useless. Blood Begets Blood, not very good. Blood Bath is okay, but it has a really crappy layout. This is something we're gonna pick up very late. And Wither is useless. So we kind of go in the order of what it shows on the selection. We start with the Cult Leader, since we have a lot of minions. What is the WDC emoji? It's the most important emoji on Twitch. Okay, don't get sniped by Avenged Corpse Bows. Although we have 6.4k armor, which is pretty good. Ah, look, we did like 20%. A fully Avenged Crossbow. Avenger is... I'm not sure how it stacks up exactly, but I think it goes up to double damage. The more enemies die in the area. Ooh, whoa. That was a bit nasty, actually. My Golem is dead. I'm gonna die here. That Golem dying was not part of the plan. Alright. Okay, get the stone. And we have no potions. I think I'm gonna die here. Oh! 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 The fire explosion! Scary. Very scary. Alright. The speed boost from the stone actually saved me, guys. Let's get some potions. Okay, that was a bit spicy. Because I maneuvred myself into the corner. So that was a bit of a misplay. I should have kind of down and not up to the corner. Because we actually had cleared everything up to the start. And I just kind of got stuck there. And I was a bit surprised by the damage of these fire waves that they're doing. Alright. Let's go back in. It wasn't the wasps actually. I got blasted by like some of the crossbows. I was just talking about it, like, you know, they do like half my life or something with the full Avenger. And then my golem died. That was a bit surprising. I was not ready for my golem to die. And I couldn't kill anything for a while. I was just like, kind of stuck in the corner with no blood mist and no golem. So that was nasty. But we can recover now, so that's fine. Let's add Cult Leader while we're at it. Usually when you're like leveling, you kind of just like rush legendary nodes and go next board, and then rush legendary, go next board. Some of the boards have like very good synergy between picking legendary and glyph. Right now we don't even have glyphs, so we just do that. Since you get levels so fast, it can easily take until like level 70 or 80 even to get all your glyphs. Dude, that's a big wasp. Look at that wasp. You wanna meet that IRL? Ugh. Okay. Let's clean this up here, and we also have to go up to the elites there and then clean that as well. There's like one more stone somewhere. Ah, we almost bit the bullet there. My golem is frozen. It's kind of funny actually to look at the golem and getting CC'd and stuff. Advantage elixir. Not very useful, but I'll take it. Yeah, we're just trying to get a bit more loot here. So we have ancestral gear when we are 55. I did the same mistake again. I press on Golem in the suppressor bubble. So in this case, we wait for the suppressor to disappear. Here we go. Good thing is like having the rock on the back. We are 30% faster. So that's actually what saved us earlier, because this was the only reason why we got out of the fire explosion at the end. I barely managed to get out. That's because of the rock. Only in Diablo 4, guys. You carry like a 20 kilograms rock on your back. That gives you 30% movement speed. Undaunted. That's a good glyph to have, actually. I'm not sure if it works for the minions, though. I don't think so. I think like the fortified status does not extend to the minions and for the extra damage. But it's a nice glyph to have in general. For now. I'm not sure if I can activate it on the starting board. But yeah, I actually learned something about these monsters here. This fire wave is way stronger than I thought it would be. I got a 42 elixir, that's very good. Might actually run around it. Okay. So now we can put this here. This is a willpower, which we cannot activate, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, that's it. We can't activate it anyway, unfortunate. The druid guide is this, but the druid is somewhere with off-screen leeching XP. I'm not sure why you're shitting on Druid, but this is completely unwarranted. Druid is gonna be pumping. Like, people are still stuck in, like, Season 0, I think, when it comes to Druids. Like, they got their... like, maybe even stuck in open beta, man. Like, you guys realize there have been, like, over a year of patches buffing Druids, right? And also Druid was, like, the, you know, reigning king throughout Season 0 and Season 1. In endgame. Okay, I need 3 more level ups, guys, and then we are ready to equip all of our items. That's kinda cool. Might not be this run though, we might have to do one more if we don't get any event or something. Maybe get lucky with a Cursed Shrine. Cursed Shrine, we had that earlier with like an artillery in Road Tier 3, that was really good. Yeah, we're like a very small army here. We only have these 3 minions. That's it. We're kind of weak right now. 3 skellies and a golem. That's my army, man. Very poor. Necromancer. Oh, that lighting. Not great. Also Banshees, they can hit like a truck with their projectiles. Succubi as well. Dangerous. Funny enough, Oppressors in Diablo 4 are like not threatening in any way compared to Diablo 3. In Diablo 3, Oppressors are some of the most dangerous monsters in the entire game. And here they just do nothing. Kinda weird. There's a shrine. It's a conduit shrine. I think. Going straight for it. Actually, let's clear the champions there, just in case this is a cursed one. It's not a cursed one. If it was a cursed one and the champions are down there, this could be a bit annoying. This helps. This looks like an event. No. Nothing in this dungeon. Open the chest. Spawn elite. It's pretty common that when you click on these chests or something like that, there's like some elite spawning. There's also like some dungeons that have, for example, like prisoners or something that are not actually objectives, and they also spawn elites. Thinking whatever class you want to be good, you just need it to be awful on the PTR. Yeah, Blizzard always has a tendency to overbuff things if they're looking bad at some point. So I think it's exactly what's gonna happen with Zorks. Like, everyone is always baby raging, oh, Zorks so weak and whatever, and I mean, yeah, they are the weakest, but they're not weak in my book. And now we're gonna see the price. So, Zork's gonna be destroying in Season 5 most likely. Okay, we're probably gonna get out of this with 53. We're gonna go to 55. What's there? Maybe this is cursed? Nope. Never lucky, man. This could have been an event to give me 2 levels. Sacrificial glyph. Not really what you want. Although some builds will definitely want to go and sacrifice minions in Season 5. I think Bone Spirit actually does it. We should check here, actually. I wonder if there's an event. It might just be like a little circle. Now that I said it, Blizzard will nerf it till it does. Ah, they're not gonna nerf Zorks. Don't worry. Zorks are gonna be pretty good. The thing is, they added a bunch of different things to the Zorks in Season 5 that are really good. I'm gonna control glyph. I think I'm gonna level the control glyph for now, since they are using slow all the time. It needs int. We can actually activate it int. Let's do it. There. And we have to go 2 for this. That's fine. It's 20% extra damage and a bunch of additive. That's okay for now. Can go with this. Yeah, I'm not planning to do more PoE right now. We're like in Season 5 mode now. You know, I was sick the entire week and stuff. If I had like more time to do like all the other stuff and I wasn't just lying in my bed for a week, then this would be kind of cool. But this is not reality. So I just need to go and start working on D4. Okay, I got a Lights Watch 26. Lights Watch has lots of pink knights and werewolves. Fairly easy dungeon. I like Lights Watch, it's actually one of my favorite dungeons. Just like a cool layout. You see so many people shitting on Zork, it's insane. They don't understand. I mean, it is fair to say that Zorks are relatively weak if you compare them to the other classes, I think. I've played a lot of Zork myself in every season, including Season 4. And I do agree that they are weaker than the rest. I just don't think that buffs is necessarily the solution, but okay, I mean, Blizzard likes the buff stuff. The expansion is coming where we get stat squish anyway, so for Season 5, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Like, let stuff go a bit crazy, stat squish is coming. Okay, we should not completely neglect what's going on here. We have bandits actually, not knights. And bandits are a bit more dangerous than knights, because they can come out of stealth. You wanna use your blood surge again to get them out of stealth. Also, these wolves can come out of stealth. Very sneaky enemies here. I'll make sure you don't get surprised. Use a blood surge sometimes. Oh, we also have blood blister. You have to pay attention to that. I don't think I would get one shot by blood blister at this point, but I don't intend to try. Oh dear. Yeah, we gotta be careful here still. Even with the control glyph that we have now, it's a nice damage buff, but it's not enough to carry this yet. Ho ho ho. That fire, dude. Kind of rough. Yeah. It's kind of wild that there's 2 blood blisters spawning so often. Usually when there's one blood blister out already on the screen, it's not supposed to be a second one. I wonder if they changed it when they did the most recent Nightmare Dungeon reworks. For example, they removed Lightning Storm as well and stuff like that. Do we have Arsonists here? I think we have Arsonists as well. They're very dangerous. They shoot these exploding fire arrows. Yeah, here, these guys. Pay attention, they will probably two-tap me. There's a shrine. Blast wave, that's very good actually. I don't get surprised by a random bloodbuster in the back. It has a very long range. Nothing for the end. Oh. Oh, that's a lot of fire arrows there on the right, you see? Boom, 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 boom. So that's what I'm talking about here. We don't have blood mist right now. If you get feared somewhere, then that's it. So let's play it safe. My Golem might actually die here. A very annoying fight. Just cutting backwards. Okay. Just a bit more than a level. Now you're definitely struggling a bit more than I think you would otherwise do normally. I feel very weak currently. But we're also pretty much at our weakest spot we can be. We're just about to get our ancestral items. And we're also doing a 26 nightmare dungeon. This could be a 21. Or at least something like 22 or so if we had a bit more luck with our sigil, leaning at 21. Like I think the lowest sigil we did was a 24, for example. We started already 3 tiers higher than we should. Minion life and minion armor. I'm not sure if this is really worth using. Yeah, we soon don't have to necro play for us, so I mean, we can check out the block and stuff. Don't really expect much anyway. It's not a campfire, guys. It's just like some random hype. Do they even have attack speed bonus? I'm not sure if card leader actually does much for me right now. At least until I get my skellies back and then occult the minion. But yeah, once we have that, they're gonna be pumping. Oh. Damn, he had like a really long range knockdown. That was surprising. Oh, that guy, man. Get him. One more level. We have a nice inventory of loot here. We could just go to the end of the dungeon, finish the dungeon. I think at this point it's just like cleared, basically. Let's go around here, and then worst case we skip more later. And then we're probably gonna finish the dungeon and we have 55. Purge glyph. It's like a shadow glyph, I think. Almost. Can you change the costs? Yeah, that for sure to change the costs. They change everything on Infernal Hordes, I guess. Okay, finally got the event. Now that we need half a level, man. We got a last stand. Beautiful. Oh, man. Now, the thing is, you kind of want to finish the dungeon to get a sigil, because I did it yesterday. I went to the town after hitting 55. And then it was like, yeah, okay, dungeon closed after 3 minutes of staying outside. So either you go in after 3 minutes, or you do like most of the dungeon, most of the item fiddling in the dungeon, I guess. That's an option. And then don't let it close, because else you're gonna be there with no sigil. Yeah, guys, these guys are gonna die. There's no way I'm gonna keep them alive. Just gonna kite them backwards a little bit. I need some potions, actually. My god. These guys. They're really pushing me. The chilling wind and the explosions and the blood blister, man. They don't stop following me either. That's kind of interesting. Look how far away we are. That's very surprising. But it seems to have no leash range. Very interesting. Usually they leash like, you know, 2 screens or something, and that's it. Holy. Okay, I got this. And now you just go out here, get the next gate. And then get like... Okay, monstrosity probably, 40% damage. No, 100% damage actually. Even better. I think Hulk and Monstrosity is also a setup where I can get a glyph easily. If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it's not. Kind of. It's okay. Like you can path in here and then take it. Okay. Maybe we should have even gone that first. Because this actually doesn't do that much currently until we have more minions again. I do have Frenzy Dead actually. Wait a minute, do I? Did I forget to imprint it? No, we got it, okay. I'm just wondering. So they have 45% bonus, okay. So I have a bit of damage now. Oh, nifty, thanks for the raid. Hello guys. Okay, we got a Sentinel Guardian. Now this would be funny if this was a survive 30 seconds event. I still don't have a scroll of escape. Which means you also gotta be careful with this blood blister, yeah? This was survive 30 seconds and we're like, you know, a quarter of a bar away from hitting 55. And then we die here, because survive 30 seconds is not easy. We're that undergeared right now. How's it going? Hope you had a good stream. I'm doing a necro tutorial run right now. Trying to teach people a good season start. So we started this character 2.5 hours ago. We are level 55 now, just about to equip our items. In fact, I will do it before the boss, I think. Let's do it now. I think this is the boss, no? Any second. Okay, let's just get some stuff. Anything is better than what we got, so it can only get better. 870 item power, huh? Here's some res and int, that's pretty good. Here's an offhand. Now the question is, do we want to go for the offhand? We have 7,000 attack power, 7,300. It actually goes slightly up. But we lose the shield and so on. We gain other stuff and cooldown, for example. So what else do we have? I guess all of these are kind of whatever. Nice helm though of the resource. We definitely want a bit of resource. Essence on kill and crit also not bad. But you want the res, I think. Here's a helm. This has occult minion, look at that. So we actually don't have to go and get it from the codex. I think it's the codex power if I'm not mistaken. Don't really want to use this helm though. So we would go in and print it on our current one. And we got a retribution. Perfect roll. We don't really stun much though. With Aphotic though we can stun. So there's that. We can actually use retribution and Aphotic. So why not? And we are done otherwise. We have a bit of rest here. Let's take it. Got an ancestral shield with crit, that's also not terrible. Maybe you want to do that. Okay. So I have more attack power now. Similar. A bit low on the fire and lightning, but I think it was kind of 40 already. So I think we're just stronger now. Let's go. Let's finish this. Go to the boss, and then we start tempering some stuff and so on. 5k life. You're asking me about Hellbreach dungeons? I have no idea what Hellbreach dungeons are. I'm sorry. Stay tuned to find out, I guess. Warrior gloves is for the skellies, but not one we really want, I think. I think it's like minion armor or something. There's like a bunch of glyphs that give you like minion like powers and stuff. But you don't really want all of them. Okay. Much easier now at least. So let's finish this, kill the boss. Let's just run here finally. Let's see if it's a curse event, it's not. And you have a good bunch of ancestral items. I'm missing only glove and pants, and I actually do not have any, I think. Which is a bit sad. Maybe I missed something in my inventory. And he disappeared. Much better. Ah, look, he has pants. Very nice. We have occultist minion. Also... Okay. Can we save these? Should new minions deal damage to an enemy by sacrificial. It's gonna pump into control for now, it's just what it is. Don't really have the glyphs that we want yet. Now we make our gear. So at this point you will probably have a lot of temper recipes already, at least like the mid-range ones. It doesn't really matter if it's like a yellow or a legendary recipe most of the time, if it's like just some random percent temper modifier. Like, you know, if you get like 50 res or 45 res, it doesn't really matter or so. So in that case, we just go equip whatever we got here. We have full ancestral. Not really great items, but it doesn't have to be great yet. This is an Audacity, actually. Okay. We got an upgrade here. Now we start tempering. So in this case, you can probably start tempering like basically what you want on our gear. So in this case, you want to get like a fire res, a lightning res. Let's try that. You got a cold. How much essence per second do we have? We have 1 there. And okay, we have 2 essence per second rolls. This is gonna be really nice. Okay, there's a fire. We probably want a bit more rest actually, since we are getting our minions back now. So instead of sacrificing these guys, we're going for the Reapers with the cooldown. And then we can keep the Shadow Mages, I think they're fine. We keep the offensive Golem, that's fine. We need Lightning Rest and Poison. Let's try to get that. Lots of fire. Nothing rolls fire. There's big poison. Let's try that. Dude, I keep getting fire. Shadow. We are 70% overcapped on Shadow. That's not really what we're looking for. Okay, we have 2 attempts. Cold. Also kind of overcapped. Alright, it is what it is. We go Lightning Rest Gems here. Toppers. We can't really have the luxury to just do whatever we want, but we have 60, 65, 70, 70, 70, that's fine. Now we go for some mobility. Necromancer Motion only has 3 options. Boom. Movement here. Movement during Blood Mist is not what we want. Come on. Movement here. And now random utility stuff. So there is Worldly Fortune, doesn't really matter too much. There's also like a lot of this here. Iron Maiden size, Decrepify size. I think it's actually getting combined into like curse size and stuff like that. You probably have something like that at this point. Decrepify size, here we go. I don't even use Decrepify. Doesn't really matter. We're just gonna use anything curse duration. Now we do summoning damage. And maybe golem damage if we get it. It doesn't really matter. We just kind of like go whatever. We get Iron Maiden size. Okay. First duration. I'm just not being picky. I'm just taking whatever. Let's do summoning. There's the golem damage. Is there any like resource stuff? Not really, right? There's golem active cooldown reduction. Actually, maybe we should try to pick that. If you have this recipe, you probably want to go for it. Just so you can use the golem more often. It's also kind of nice. Ultimate cooldown. That's also used by some other classes sometimes. He has 22 golem. Skeletal mage damage. We just go with it. It's fine. Let's try to get the golem again. %. We do summoning again. Golem damage. And we have a shield. Where I don't really know what I want to do, to be honest. Maybe get armor. Got 10% armor. Let's do a Worldly Fortune. And just go with it. So kind of just like, get a bunch of random stuff. Anything that is like good offensively. Maybe the resource cost or the cooldown reduction there that we have for the golem. This makes it much shorter cooldown. Plus then we get the Reapers giving us a shorter cooldown. And now we can kind of just like blast. Put the rubies back. Want to get 2 more rubies. At level 60 you can actually get the flawless rubies, but you probably won't have enough materials. We do this, we do this. And before we imprint everything, we want to roll. Because it's cheaper to roll items that are not legendary. For example, these gloves cost 11 crystals. Like the chest, like the helm. And this costs 13 crystals and 6 angel breath. So you wanna just like roll them while they're yellow. Put a knife here. This we don't want to roll. This is fine. We wanna roll off the life per hit maybe. Bull is not something we actually have, I think. Life per second can be rolled. Let's do armor. There's also % damage reduction, but we want armor. Now we have 7k, so we're nearly capped. Also resistances. Shadow is actually very high. We have kind of overcapped Shadow. And overcapped Cold. We can roll off both if we want. We go with crit. And we go with attack speed, that helps our minions. And we roll 8 crit again, that's very nice. And now we have nearly capped res, nearly capped armor. Maybe we can sneak in a movement roll. I'll try. There's an armor roll. There's a res roll. Also very good. So we didn't get movement, but we take this, it's fine. Now we have a setup. We had Occult Minion, do we have it right now? Yes. And we had the Frenzied Dead. Frenzied Dead is something we want to put here. And we had the Blood Surge Power that we're gonna put back. Bloodbathed. And now there might be other stuff that we find on the way or that we could unlock here that we could go for. We could get, so, for example, some random defensive powers like Protector or Protecting. They're both in the Codex, I think. Like you could put Barrier, for example. You can just do it. You know, if you have this unlocked now, you can go do a dungeon if you want. You can just throw something like that here, and then we could also go for some more minion powers. So you can just type minions, for example. And then there's reanimation. So I'm not sure if this is in the Codex. I can check. Is it? It is actually in Alderwood in Scots Clan. So you could go and get that, for example. And we could even go for like 1 resource ring, but we already have like essence per second, so we don't really need this. And there's Unyielding Commander. Once you get this, you have like an insane nuke. Even when Butcher shows up, you're gonna press your army to death. We would give up the Blood Mist for that, probably. Just drop Blood Mist. And you get this instead. And then you're gonna destroy. But we can just try this out. We just take this tier 27 run here. We take our momentum. And let's go. My life is 7,600. It's pretty decent for this level. The goal would be to get to something like roughly 20k plus life by the time you hit 100, just to make sure you don't get randomly one-tapped by random stuff. Even Hell Tides, the Hellborns can be kind of dangerous also at this point. So 20k life is usually what you're aiming for, maybe a bit more even, as you progress your character and the gear. Okay, so we're not really just one-shotting stuff with my right click, unfortunately, but it is enough to kind of clean up the small stuff. And the rest comes from the minions. Golem walks in, one-shots the pack. So this is looking pretty solid now. And now we also don't really care that much about, for example, yellow items anymore. We wouldn't really like look at these yellows anymore. You can still get upgrades on yellows, but it's not really worth wasting your time on it. Just kind of keep going, keep blasting. Look at any kind of legendaries you find. And rush those dungeons. And at this point we actually care about completing dungeons more than we care about just full clearing dungeons. You don't have to clear every single corner now. Try to get the events. They're always juicy for XP, for loot. And otherwise to rush to the end. Get the glyph XP. Especially once you're like in like tier 30 plus 40 plus dungeons, so glyph XP is actually already starting to be noticeable. You can still pick up some rares to salvage. On the first character, it's a good idea to just salvage a bit. And you see we can use our golem a lot more now. Every time we press the golem, everything just dies. 1 enemy remains. Here we go. We saw that we kind of just like rushed forward and there was like a bunch of guys that we didn't kill. If you engage enemies in a slay all objective, they will eventually teleport to you. Like 99% of the time at least. You have to like fight them once though, somewhere. Let's see a new Shaco and WoW hat. I did not. But we will see it soon, I suppose. Got a first try. Yeah, we're almost done with this run anyway. But we're gonna stop it at like around 3 hours. Just kind of like get this online now. And then we're gonna see if we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit more. Maybe we can use our golem a bit Now you see our Blood Surge is still not that powerful, but with overpowers we are kind of clearing these waves here. And now you can decide, do we go for like a full minion setup? A lot of people, for example, Season 4 play like full minions. Then you can slowly work towards the Shadow Minions build, where you go for Shadow Blight. Then you have a Photic aspect that makes your warriors Shadow. You have your Shadow Mages, and they proc Shadow Blight all the time. That procs your Shadow aspect, so the Blighted aspect all the time. Buffing all of your minions, buffing all of your damage. And then you don't really have to go much for like Blood Surge damage on your own anymore. You can just kind of be like a support for your minions. Or you can like also transition to other setups. You can play like a minion Sever version. I like Sever, it's like my favorite skill on this class. So I might do something like that in Season 5. Not that great for leveling once you... until you get like the setup online, but at this point, you know, we are powerful. Leveling is easy. So playing something like Sever while leveling is not a bad idea. Once you have the whole thing. We go for Hulking Monstrosity here. Once you have that, we have double damage on our Golem. He's gonna destroy. Even if the Golem is much more powerful than you are, you don't have him ready all the time. So it can be just nice to play something like Surge or Sever, have fun, kill the packs, and then whenever there's an elite or some pesky boss, you just boom, one-tap him with the Golem. In Season 5, even jumping Golem. You see how the XP is flying now, finally. I don't think that the changes to uniques will apply to existing items. They're pretty drastic changes. It would be strange if they apply to existing. It also can also be very unfair because a lot of the current uniques is, you know, stuff that no one keeps, right? How would you even do that when like all of these stats change and there's like greater affixes on the gear and stuff like that, right? Doesn't make much sense to apply it retroactively. "10 seconds in, you know why I chose the stream title." Well, there you go. Yeah, I was a bit more silent earlier when I was just like trying to live and get to level 55. It was kind of rough. But now we're in Blast Mode again, so this is where we should be. And it can make it easier, you know, I was kind of struggling and, you know, almost dying and stuff like that. I could have done this better. Could have also swapped out my set a little bit. Or just kind of like maybe go back to World Tier 3, farm a few levels there. Would have probably been faster actually, to be fair. Because I was just so weak. Could have done a few dungeons to get some powers. So there's like many ways out here basically. But I see boss, boom, dead, and this is a tier 27. Can even go higher if you want. In fact, we should go higher in Season 5. So I'm gonna craft another sigil now and go a bit up. Let's do a 31 to 35. Endless gates. Yo. Our favorite. Got a pretty decent neck there. Crit, int, bunch of res. If you somehow get a neck that has movement speed, it's very good. So you want to hold onto any neck that has movement speed as a necro, just to make sure that you hit the movement speed cap at some point. And in general, now you can actually start throwing like all these legendaries that look like half decent into your stash. And for example, you know, we're strong right now. We don't need to improve our gear really. If you find something, you can just kind of like equip. Sure, but we have tempered our items now. We have wasted all of the resources we acquired over time. We're kind of like bankrupt right now. So it wouldn't really be wise to like look at every single item after every single run. Just sell shadows, then, you know, throw whatever there's like half decent legendaries into the stash, or if there's an aspect that you want, you save that by salvaging it. And then just wait like 10-15 levels. Wait until like 75, and then do another round of tempering everything, imprinting some stuff. And just whenever you feel like you're slowly going weaker and weaker, this is when you do that. For me personally, I do like usually 1 or 2 stops on the way to 100 to improve my gear a little bit, just to make sure I stay at like a really high kill speed and very powerful, and I'm not in danger, and my res is capped and stuff. Which right now it is. My res is capped and my armor is fine, but my armor will not be fine soon anymore. It's only 7,000. You want to hit 9,230 by the time you hit level 100 monsters, and these are already level 85, for example. You're already not capped on armor. We're okay, but we're not capped. So you definitely want to get like another armor roll, for example, at some point. And also you want to get like legendaries that actually have 3 stats, not just these random imprinted yellows that have 2. But you see, this is kind of like just destroying everything now. And now you just keep blasting. And then you can build towards whatever you get, and around whatever you get. If you get like uniques, for example, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. And you want to be inclined to switch your setup. Going to rock Blood Surge the whole way. Yeah, Blood Surge is kind of like the leveling build. It just kind of cleans up all the small stuff, and then you focus your minions on the actual valuable targets. This is like the good combination you have here. You have like very weak Necromancer damage, but it's good enough to clean the small stuff. And then your minions just deal with the rest. We have 5 mages now and the Golem. The Golem will just kill anything we, you know, press the button on. Even the boss will just die in like 2 passes or so. If you go there, you will see it. Yeah, I know about the blog post, but I wanted to finish the run. We're gonna watch it in like 10 minutes. So the goal was to get to something like around level 70 or so until we are basically stabilized. But we are stabilized now, you see. I'm just kind of showing this off a little bit and do like some last final comments. As soon as you have to sacred items, a bit of tempers. Not sure if you would have like exactly this quality of tempers right away, maybe it's a bit optimistic. But I think I'm a bit pessimistic on my legendaries since I don't have any seasonal caches, I don't have any fiend caches, Iron Wolves, whatever. So we are actually really weak on our legendary powers, which do matter a lot. And that's it. Like, you can also go and like just get more stuff from the codex if you want. There's a few things. You could also, I don't have like a mobility power here. This could be Wind Striker on the boots or even on the neck. You can go really fast, we can be zooming. So for leveling I really like to go like Wind Striker on the neck, for example, on necros. There's like a bunch of options you can do in Season 5. Also the new mobility aspects are also really good. There's like this evade thing. Like here, I could be here and I could evade straight into the boss room, right on top of the boss. From here with the new evade power. We do like evade, 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 blood mist, then evade, 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 and you're already there. And you have like half your evades left if you want. You can go twice as far if you want. It's crazy. And you see here like the resource, like the cooldown reset from the Reapers. You walk in, cooldown is reset, boom. So we can try to speed this up a little bit more now. I feel like, assume we have found a few legendary powers. You can do a Wind Striker and the Slaughter. Slaughter is nice because it also works in town. It's also a mobility power. So we can do that. And then we're zooming. Wind Striker is moving speed on crit. Anything else we could do here? Empowering Reaper is kind of useless. We can check if there's like any other like offensive powers. If we find something maybe. Rotting, Cadavers, Edge Masters could be something. Or Cursed Touch. Elements. I'm not sure if Elements actually goes to the minions. It may or may not. We found a Retribution earlier, so we could have used that. I forgot about it actually. We want to do Aphotic and Retribution. So because we stun with our minions. So there's that, for example. Blood Boiling is a very good power to get if you have that. It's not in the codex, but I can kind of show the power of this. Because you're constantly overpowering. You constantly get these blood orbs, and if you walk through them, you explode everything around you basically. You can go even higher if you want. This is level 86. Let's try this. Broken Bulwark. Blooded Deaths. I don't have access. Underroot also. Everything's behind Strongholds. Sanguine Chapelle. Let's try that one. It's gonna be very funny to see. So these are like over 30 levels above us. We're zooming in or out. Through the dungeon. It's gonna be a last run for this video, by the way. If there's any last questions, now I can ask chat. Otherwise for YouTube, also in the comments. And you see here these like blood orbs, you just walk through them, boom, 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 boom. That's what I'm talking about. These guys hurt though. We kind of maybe stretched it a bit too far. We're not that powerful yet. What do you see? Plus 31 levels. We're kind of cutting through it like butter. Just gonna be a bit careful, my armor is a bit low. That's the problem. My armor is too low. I need like another armor roll or so with all these explosions. And we have the passive resource generation, which is very nice. You could also go for Reap now if you wanted, since you don't actually use Hemorrhage very much anymore. You can use Reap sometimes to get a guaranteed corpse. You can like swap up the generator a little bit. You can also do Bone Splinters if you like the crit. Decompose even, some people like using that. Personally, I'm not a Decompose enjoyer, but it is a very powerful generator. Necro generators are fairly balanced, I would say. They all have kind of their use. You could also have like a might aspect for some damage reduction. Right now we have a yellow helm. If you have might aspect, you get 20% DR. So as long as you keep a generator on the bar, that's really nice. Later on, a lot of builds actually don't run generators on Necro. You just kind of like sustain with like, you know, the essence generation you have, or you don't even use essence very much as a Necro with minions, for example. What is that minefield? This is the blood boiling aspect. This is the one I just imprinted here. Boom, 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 boom. So whenever you get an overpower, you'll see it now. Now watch. Boom, 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 boom. So this is the blood boiling aspect. Every enemy that you hit with an overpower will produce one of these orbs, and you just walk through them here. Look, this is like a really powerful thing, like for blood surge, for polarize. A bunch of stuff on Bar can also make use of this. With overpowers, guaranteed overpowers and stuff. So it's very good for leveling this aspect with overpower builds. If you can reliably overpower. You could even try it with Bloodlands. Although I've not really tried leveling with Bloodlands since Blood Surge exists. You know, Blood Surge is just so good for leveling that you would not really consider Bloodlands. Bloodlands is something you can do late game once you have the entire like set of aspects online and stuff like that. It needs like a few things kind of function, and even then it's not very strong. But yeah, as soon as you get an overpower and you see the overpower, you just like press the button and then kapow. "11 waves. Could be better. Like, as a Necro, you can go all the way to like 18 waves or something, but I mean, these monsters are 30 levels above us. You know, pretty high. Now we get like 3 more points, you get Hulking Monstrosity, double damage for the Golem. We should try to get it actually, before the boss, just for the lulz. I'm not sure if we can. We need half a level, maybe. Up to 70 we get a pretty fast XP. Maybe I can take out a point somewhere. Actually we can. We don't have a glyphs there. Fine. Let's take it. That's gonna be funny. We walk in and the boss is gonna die. Boom. Corporal. That's a good glyph. That's the physical glyph. And I think that gives us movement speed as well. They buffed it to also give you movement speed when you have minions. So that's the glyph. The glyph for this build. Yeah, we're almost getting the XP that we needed actually. And we don't even have Unyielding Commander. With Unyielding Commander it can do double damage again. So you get Golem can do times 4. With Hulking and Unyielding Commander and Army of the Dead. Which we don't have now. But yeah, we curse him, Golem, and Golem. Okay, I didn't quite one-tap him, but close enough. This guy is level 91. So there you go. And that's it. Well, there's no level cap for XP in Season 5. Now it's 30. You want to have monsters 30 levels above you in Season 5. So that's exactly what I was just doing, and you see how easy this was. I'm just literally just blasting through this with like random ancestral stuff, the first ancestrals that I found. And now you like slowly upgrade your stuff, so you can, you know, take something like this. There's a 925, throw it in a stash for later, and then, you know, whenever at like level 75 or 80, it's gonna do like a round of upgrades, equip whatever you got, imprint it, take like 10 minutes in a town, and then you go all the way to 100. That's it. And then you just, you know, save whatever is good, like this. 2 just good Mage Master, very good item. This is very good. Great attack speed. Yeah, then you just look for an amulet that has movement speed. I don't have movement speed on either my boots or my amulet right now, besides the temper. And I was pretty fast already. You can have a lot of movement speed here. Look, we have 153. Without any rolls. So I don't have to complain that necros are slow or anything. Like in a few levels from now we're gonna have at least movement speed on the boots, and then at some point on the neck. And you're gonna be capped all the time. And that's it. Yeah, and that was the necro run. Is Bone Spear a viable build for Season 5? I'm not sure how Bone Spear is actually played in Season 5. So they made like this minion stuff, but then they also buffed the sacrifice effects. Realistically, if I was going to play a Bone Spear, I would play a traditional full sacrifice Bone Spear. You know, I don't trust those minions to aim properly. Like Bone Spear is very sensitive to aiming and positioning. And yeah, the minions can shoot it, but they will just shoot in random places. That won't really help. So I think I would rather go for like a pure Bone Spear sacrifice. If you want to do like a Rambo necro, that will be cool. I don't think it's going to be very strong, because Bone Spear just overshadows everything. But Bone Spear will be okay. Alright. Thunder glasses here, by the way. Boy, Bloodboard is so fun, yeah. Alright, do we have anything else? Yeah, I think that's it. So now it's basically just like, you know, try to collect the right uniques. For most intents and purposes, I guess people are gonna play Bone Spirit at some point in the season, since Bone Spirit is such a powerful build. You wanna work towards that. Bone Spirit is like the build of the season, basically. Most likely, if they don't immediately nerf it. We'll see. But on PTR, it was possible to dish out like 5 to 10 billion per hit. And they're about to buff all the uniques. There were some in that build. So we'll see. And yeah, that is a start. So, funny enough, not a single scroll of escape I found here. I think on Rogue Run I found like 3. So there's that. Okay, hope you enjoyed the run. It was 3 hours until we stabilized in Blast Mode and in Rotier 4, that's pretty good. So from here on would be like another 3 hours or so, maybe 4. Chill blasting, Nightmare Dungeons. If you want, you can also interrupt the Nightmare Dungeon grind, do some Hell Tides, do some Infernal Hordes in Season 5, if you want. Of course, you don't have to do just Nightmare Dungeons. The strat is usually do Nightmare Dungeons, but it's also not so bad that as long as your glyph are kind of online, just go something else. get some XP in Hell Tides as well, while you're farming, you know, Angel Breath and whatever. But for example, right now, if you don't have Mind Cages, it's not such a great idea to go Hell Tides, because your loot is just going to be too low. You're going to get like 850 loot or something. You want to wait until at least the monsters are like around level 90, then you get 925 loot. You can do that with Mind Cages. So there's that, if you find Mind Cages. Otherwise, yeah, just kind of stick to the Nightmare Dungeons, get the high level loot, get your gear, get your glyphs up. Get your glyphs to 15 at least. Like this one is 11. I wouldn't really want to run Control later, but for now it does the job. But then there is Corporal that we just found. Very powerful glyph. And then, for example, there's Amplify, since you're cursing stuff. You can do that. Essence, relatively good, lots of crit damage. Dominate could work as well, since we are reliably overpowering with Blood Surge, for example. Dead Razor is a bit defensive glyph, usually not very used much. Territorial is not bad for some DR. So yeah, there's like this kind of stuff that you would go for. But you can also just kind of like follow the planners or max roll and so on. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the run, let me know how that was. And then stay tuned for the other classes.